That's what we're looking for. See if you can find it. You were. It was at you at one point, so you should have a notification that you were added.
Yeah.
And yes, the tennis game does have a boss.
Well, the problem is I have global hotkeys, so I just have to put them a second out. Then I just write they're in general ready. And then we're fine. Yeah, I did it.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. 5, 4, 1. Alright, man. Good luck, sir.
You too.
So yeah, so this is Super Tennis. It's one of the original launch titles for the Super NES. And we're going to abuse our opponents on our service games all night. All night long, and that is thanks in large part to Berlin.
Yeah, the interesting thing is like the creators of the game made I think a mistake, because normally you have to hit them and you have to play with them both. Services and topspin, what brings us to an opportunity to win directly points by passing them, because in the topspin they always run forward. I don't know why.
Yeah, so it's a the mechanic to beat normal folks, I'll say, on your serve is slightly different from the mechanic to beat the final guy on your serve, but it's really just an additional input for normal folk, where you will, at least for me, playing as a right-handed character, I will press the direction that I'm serving toward and the R button, and I will mash A as quickly as I can. And it just throws out this really wacky slice serve that nobody knows what to do with.
Yeah, and I'm a lefty because I just want to explain I'm a lefty, so I use the L button instead of the R button. But continue. Just wanted to tell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, and you have to adjust. During the course of the tournaments here, you have to adjust your positioning as you go. You can't just like stand at the same spot on the baseline when you're serving. You have to kind of move and adjust your angle as needed. So, just like in real tennis, I'll say, there are the three. You'll see all three different court surfaces. You will see. We're playing on clay court right now, and then we will play on hard court and lawn court. So hard court is what you would have seen in like the U.S. Open or the Australian Open, and then lawn court is more like your traditional Wimbledon court style. So
yeah, since in the time there was also the licensing already a thing. Like when you want to use the name of the Australian Open or whatever, you have to pay. The creators of Super Tennis decided to not use it, to not pay a license, and just called it like Melbourne Open or London Open, because they didn't want to pay money for just using the original names. That's why we have.
If anything, if anything, it gives you insight into locations where other minor tournaments actually occurred. At least I would assume. I would assume that Rio is a location where they would have had a tournament.
Actually, since I know professional tennis tournaments and also the schedule every year, the schedule is mostly correct, because it starts with Rio, or it starts with South America, and then goes forward. Like it's similar. There are some similarities, so they put in small effort at least at that.
Nice. That's good to know.
Yeah, it's like there's a clay court session in February, but normally it's like first it's Australian Open, then comes Rio and everything. So yeah, there's some kind of things different, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And did you already get someone you don't want to play, or is everything fine?
Yeah, I'm in the second round now.
Same. I play Phil.
Yeah. So. Oh, nice. I played Mark, I think, and now I just lost my first point.
I played before Ruben, and now I played on the second. And for everybody who's watching it, like I said, we somehow found a lot of things like service winners or aces against the guys, or playing passing shots that they're not reaching them. A very annoying part in this game is when the opponents are grabbing the balls because the ball comes slow, but you cannot play faster after that. You just have to live with that, and it's really annoying when they are just always grabbing the balls and bring the ball back. The rats. Rats! Yeah.
Shout out to rats.
It's an emote what Jels has from Super Tennis. It's when the opponent, there are three things what the opponent can do, or what you can do as a character. Like, you can say yeah when you win a point, you can say no, and you can make rats. That means you're hitting your racket on the ground.
Yeah, rats is my favorite.
It's everybody's favorite.
Well, yeah, I'm not special in that regard.
Yeah, and depending on we have some enemies we don't want to play. There are some enemies. There's one guy we never want to play, and I hope we never play Chip. And there are some others who cause time just because of playing the balls always back, or having problems with the service, like double bouncing and everything. So we will see what comes in that run. And yeah, the RNG can be really tough in that game. It could be that we have opponents who are doing a lot of first service mistakes, and every first service mistake is a 5-second lost something. So you just hope that your opponent is playing always the balls inside, and that your game, like your balls, pass when you're playing him.
Yeah, you want lots of winners, and to a certain extent, your opponent is going to guess one way or the other when you try to win. Use like a cross-court winner to return a serve. They may charge the net, and they might make it very difficult for you to win points very quickly. You know, ideally, you're just looking for when you're returning serve, you just want to win right off of the service return. That is absolutely the fastest. And like Berlin said, you don't want to be dealing with somebody with a low first service percentage. You don't want a lot of faults, because every fault just wastes time.
Yeah.
Basically, this is just a lesson in trying to not waste time. All you're doing is trying to like, every single thing you can do. There's a limit to how much you can control it, so you're just trying to minimize mistakes. He says as he makes a mistake. Every single thing has an. If everything goes the way tennis should, where they just keep getting their serves in, and you keep returning with winners, then
sure.
Then you can. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I just see two things in the chat. The first thing from Ozipone, really estimate 4 hours for this game. Yeah, the 100% run what we had was 3 hour 14 mine, and Gels will be having 3 hour 20, and then we play another guy with around 10 to 20 minutes. So we are at least getting in at 3 hours 40 minutes or something for sure.
Yeah.
So it will be around the 4 hours estimate, yes, because we also have the credits from some minutes. And from the players what we are playing, I have John. He is in my screen the guy with the yellow shirt and the black shorts. And you, Jels? Who you are playing?
And I am playing as Brian, who is the blonde-haired guy with the blue shirt.
So yeah, we are around the end of the first minor tournament, and a minor tournament normally takes around 20 minutes, I would say. And the major tournament, what we play after, like we play 4 minors and 4 majors, and a major takes around 30 minutes. So when you're putting 8 tournaments together, You have 50 tournaments, every minor and major, what brings us to 3 hours and 20 minutes at least, in worst case. And then we have credits, and then we have Don J, what is also 20 minutes. So yeah, like I said, 3 hours, 40 minutes, easy to put together to finish the game in 101%.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially, what you're going to be seeing here is just a lot of repetition. Basically, all the tennis you can handle and more.
Yeah.
We're just going to be abusing a variety of opponents and adjusting to their own strengths and abilities on service and service return. It's subtle, but the game just doesn't seem like the opponents don't respond well when you hit a ball, because you have different techniques you can hit. You can use like a pretty standard swing, I guess you could call it, with a B
flat.
button. You could
Yep. A
yeah,
flat. It's called
you
flat. Yeah.
can flat, yeah. You can slice it with the A button. You can lob with Y, and you can use topspin with X. And topspin, basically, like you're applying a sort of a forward spin to the ball to make it drop down sooner. And topspin, personally, and I think Berlin would agree, is probably the best.
Yeah, when you're a casual
It gets you.
player, plays the first time, you don't know about this mechanic, but with the time, Brian and me, like the Brian character and the John character, like it doesn't even matter. We are just playing here with the topspin, Giles and me. Just wanted to tell, like, it doesn't even matter. We have the whole topspin strange, and that's it. Right?
Yeah,
Giles?
that's right.
The thing is, like I said, a casual player would use every technique, and the game would be going on because he doesn't. The player is acting different, the opponent, with normal shots, so you get rallies, and the game would be even much longer. But with the topspin, we are just cutting down the time completely, and that makes it a short run with 3 hours and 40 minutes, I would say, right?
Yeah, because basically, I mean, with the serving trick, you've effectively carved like at least probably a third of the time off of what you would normally do. Not necessarily half, because you still have to serve those 4 points, but you've cut a sizable chunk by being able to do mostly service aces. And yes, in chat, it should be blue shirt by my name, not white shirt.
Did you say white shirt?
Yeah. That'll probably get fixed soon, or I can just clarify every couple of minutes.
Yeah, me and Giles are the only ones who are speedrunning Super Tennis, and that's also how we met. He was the first guy who really speedrunned the any percent, right? Cutting the time down.
Yeah, so I mean, I started speedrunning Super Tennis the middle of last year, or maybe not necessarily middle of last year. I'm trying to remember exactly. It's not really that important exactly when. But the key to the whole thing was I was just kind of poking around speedrun.com, trying to find games that I played that had speedruns registered, because didn't really have much of a head for speedrunning beyond River City Ransom at that point. So I was just like, oh, I wonder if any of my other games. And then I typed in a few titles, and I started typing in like sports games as a joke, because I'm like, well, how do you speedrun a sports game? But then I went there and I saw that somebody had speedrun Super Tennis. I'm like, what? And it was like 3 hours or something like that, and it seemed ridiculously long.
Yeah.
For the rule set, which was just to win the circuit. And I think Javi, who was previously the only runner to run the game, did it. Like he played all 4 major tournaments, I think it was. Like I don't know, like if he was, because the rule set was just to finish number 1 in the circuit, which is staggeringly easy to do, and we'll go into that a little bit more. We've got lots of time to go over it here, so we'll get there.
Definitely.
But
oh man. Yeah.
So I decided to try my hand at it, and just like I realized that he was just playing tennis. Like he didn't have really any simplified strategies for execution.
Yeah.
So I played the same route that he did, where I think I did all 4 majors and cut down his time by like an hour or so.
Mm.
And then I remember being out of town not long after I did that, and getting a private message on Twitch from Berlin saying, "Hey, I just beat your I just beat your 20% time," and thus a friendship was born.
Yeah. The thing is, like when I was younger, I really played this game along, and I found out some tricks. But actually, what I was not expecting could be used in speedruns. Could it be like the cross-court thing? Could it be the thing with Don J to put the ball in front of his feet? And things like that helped us a lot. And I was playing a
Oh
lot.
yeah, are you? I don't mean to cut across you here. Are you going to use that the unforced error trick on Don J when you get to him? I can't remember if you still do.
No, I don't do it. I don't need that
Okay.
because like
Yeah, I
with the
didn't think
lob
so
strike.
anymore.
The thing
Yeah.
is, like, sometimes he's even putting the ball back, and there are two options. You can use the lob again, or you can put in front. I would try if he's doing and put the ball back, that I use one time the forcing. It's like we are giving him the ball and say, just hit it out, no problem. It's just funny. When you watch it, like when an opponent is hitting every ball out, just because you play the ball right next to him. It's just fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I
yeah,
mean
go on.
it's oh yeah. So I mean the funny thing about this game, I would say, is that it feels like the game doesn't know how to handle when you use a directional pad input along with your whatever type of swing you use. It seems easily fooled,
Yeah.
and it's the oddest thing that all you need to do essentially is aim, just aim left or aim right,
Yeah.
uh, and use your topspin. And most of the time, unless he's charging at that spot, it'll go practically right past him. There's kind of a sweet spot in between the distance that he would need to dive to
Yeah.
chase the ball down,
Yeah.
and no balls, and and the distance that he could actually just swing and hit it with his racket while standing exactly where he was. That if you get in between those two spots, then he'll just kind of whiff at the ball and you win the point. But if you get too far away from him, you're going to end up having to play some more because he's going to dive at it and keep the ball in play. Which again, it doesn't necessarily cost you the point; it just wastes time.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my fair share of wasting time here. That's for sure.
The interesting thing is when I was grinding that game a lot, and we did that both, that I found out a lot of things what I was not expecting. For example, depending where your opponent is hitting the ball in a volley or whatever, or what you're doing as a return, even when he's making a mistake, he's doing then a first serve, a quick serve, or a slow serve. And I was not expecting that it's even possible, but the creators really created a game what decides of your actions, what kind of ball he's playing as a serve next. So you are not surprised anymore. Since we always thought it's RNG, there is no RNG in this game. And that's the funny part.
Yeah. So to Berlin's point, if you can make sure that your opponent is standing in specific sections of the court as the screen transitions, you will know what speed his next shot will be, because you can do a hard serve or a soft serve, soft serve, a gentle serve, as it were.
Kick serve.
Yeah, a kick serve. Yes, let the tennis player use all the explain all the terms. Yeah, and but you will know which one is coming depending on where your opponent was standing when the screen transition. That was a very interesting find on Berlin's part.
I also found out that's not only where he's standing, also like when you're pressing cross-court short, the next one will be a first serve, even when he's not staying there, when he's making a mistake as a serve. So there are like small things what I was just finding out with the time. Also, our opponent Don J was really a mess in the beginning, but now since we find
God, yeah.
since we find a cool trick, it is very easy now to at least get the service points. Returning is something difficult. But I was playing around with the L and R shoulder buttons a little bit and came up with some ideas. And in the end, yeah, I just found out to use the shoulder buttons to get aces. Same situation like with the topspin of the normal shot. You force the opponents that they are running straight forward and not going to the ball by using the shoulder buttons, what is kind of weird. But it helps, it functions. And that gives us opportunities to get at least some free points in many situations. And yeah, I'm already in Melbourne Open in the next tournament. And what comes now in the 100% run, what is not happening in any percent, is that we are slower. So we have, what is it called? What you call it in English?
Fatigue?
Fatigue, yeah. So, oh my god. The strength of the shots is the same, so we didn't at least lose powers. That's the good thing. But we are slower on the court, so that means we can perhaps reach some balls not anymore. If the opponent is playing the ball to the other corner or whatever. But
alright, and now I'm on to the second tournament as well.
nice. Good job.
As expected, falling a little bit behind.
The other thing is, like I always told you, you're playing your character Brian. I always mentioned try one day Phil. You don't want to because you always played this character called Brian.
Yep, pretty much.
What is fine, what I actually completely like, it's okay. But I used before Hero, the Japanese guy with a wonderful backhand and with a very weak forehand. And now I changed to John because John has very strong forehand and backhand, and that helps a lot to save some time during the points. But yeah.
Yeah, I certainly don't have the best right-handed character. I just have the one that I'm most comfortable with because I've been playing this game since it came out, and I've always used Brian. Literally always used Brian. So it was hard for me to, like, my muscle memory would immediately reject any change of characters. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, the problem was I was also playing first with Hero, especially Don J, but Don J is really hard if you have a weak character, or let's say if you have one character with a weak side. What is Brian has a weaker forehand, and the same as with Hero. So if you try to pass Don J, the secret character, with our weak guys, you have to do more risk, like you have to go more forward, as I saw it with Gels and this character Brian. And with John you can pass him directly because he has a lot of power. That's just to explain why I changed into John. So I have a better opportunity against Don J, our secret boss.
Yeah, I think it's not that you can't do it against Hero or with Hero against Don J. It's just a bit more of a struggle. You have a lot more precision involved, whereas with John you get some more leniency.
Correct. Yeah,
and Brian and John are pretty much in the same league, so I've never had to deal with the the shortcomings of an average player.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we created a new category called Don J percent because our Super Tennis runs have been really low for marathons. So Jels came up with the idea to play the secret character because it's kind of intense and interesting because of RNG of service and winning points, and would be a nice race. So he just came up with a cool thing called Don J percent. What is the shortest run of our run? And it makes fun to watch, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't generally, I don't think that any of the other categories are as entertaining as watching a Donjay match. That's for sure. Because then you're playing against an opponent that, at least to a certain extent, kind of knows what they're doing. At least when they're serving, he still can't. He's even more helpless on the. I would say Donjay is easier to serve to than all of these folks.
Yeah, these folks sometimes grab the balls even still when you're serving, but Donjay is just directly running in front of the ball, like, I don't know, jumping over the ball. It looks funny.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. It goes through his legs half the time. It's great fun.
Yeah, the problem about this Donjay you will see later is that he's also the fastest character, like he has the fastest legs. He catches every ball if he wants, and he has a very strong forehand and backhand. Like stronger even than the strongest guys in that game. So it makes him very difficult to beat, so you need some special techniques to beat him. Gels played kind of a thing called topspin over him, like until he's not catching it anymore. And yeah, I just used some other strats, like the lob or playing in front of his feet. Or we see later.
Yeah, I mean for me it was, I always referred to it as the double topspin because essentially you can't just beat him with a topspin passing shot. He'll hit it right back to you. But if you catch it with another topspin shot while it's still in the air, then it'll go even higher, and it'll just go right over his head and over his racket as well.
It's kind of funny. It's like when you're playing a topspin against a topspin and another topspin, the ball gets higher and gets bigger. So it looks like every time when the ball is going higher, the ball gets bigger. If you're right now even watching it, you see it in the serve. So
yeah,
it's like changing the
big sprites.
curve.
That big tennis ball wouldn't make a bad sprite, but it'd make a bad emote.
Big ball. Yeah, so
I don't know what you'd call it, but something to get past yeah.
Big Pac-Man or whatever. Yeah, but this was a release title in 1991. Like, I think that was the time that came out together with all the Super Nintendo games. What came out there, I think it was this F-Zero came out in that time together. It's like, I think it was a launch title, if I remember correctly. Super Tennis?
I think so. Or very nearly after, if not launch.
Correct. The Super Mario World was out there, and yeah, like I said, F-Zero, SimCity, I think, was very, very famous at that time to use and to play. Yeah, and Super Tennis. And what was mostly in the games of Super Nintendo was the name Super before, like Super Castlevania, Super Mario World, Super Tennis, Super as well. Always it was Super. Super, and Super.
Everything's super.
Correct. So, how are your opponents until now? Since I don't watch your run right now, did you have anyone you didn't like, or everybody was okay until now?
Not necessarily anyone I haven't liked. I'm playing Matt right now.
Oh, so we play both Matt. Second round.
Oh, nice. We get dueling Mats.
Yeah, the only problem in that game is not a problem, but you cannot select twice the same character even in friendship thing. Like you cannot play Matt against Matt or something.
Yeah, you have to. You can't do like mirror matches, I guess they would call them. So
yeah, correct. Like in other games like Street Fighter, you could play Ryo against Ryo or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm playing you in the semis.
Oh, nice. just confuse everyone, why don't you?
Yeah, the problem is you saw yourself your character when you're not using him, and he's a mess. Like he's really difficult to beat. He's a certain volley player.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I never realized until watching you do runs of this game how much I lucked out by picking a character that is so obnoxious to play against that I just never have to play against him. To me, it was always Phil was the bad one, and occasionally Matt. Like Phil and then Matt, I think would be my 1-2. Like as far as just difficulty getting easy points and their desire to stay at the baseline when I don't want them to, and things like that.
Yeah. And the problem is like with Brian, he's like making serving volley. He's very fast. He's grabbing a lot of balls also. So it's very difficult to beat him quickly or at least fast. What we also try to avoid in our games is that we are not getting into dues, so we are not losing much more time to get like 2 points. So yeah, we try to beat, of course, everyone as fast as possible, but some are giving us really big problems by acting, like grabbing the ball, like getting every ball back, or playing slow, or things like that.
Yeah. And just so folks understand the set layout per tournament. In minor tournaments, with the structure here is it's 8 tournaments total. It goes minor, major, minor, major, minor, major, minor, major. So it toggles back and forth. I probably could have just said toggles back and forth rather than saying the words over and over again, but there you go. In in minor tournaments, the first round, second round, and semifinal are all one set, and then the final is best of 3 sets. So in a speed run, you're going to play 1, 1, 1, and 2, because you're not going to lose a game, let alone a set. So, and then in the major tournament, yeah, hopefully, unless it's Chip, if I get Chip, I might drop a game to him out of sheer frustration. Also, I don't know how this marathon has been with accepting people swearing so far, but if Chip comes up, I might have to mute my microphone. We'll see. Then the major tournaments, the first and second rounds are both one set, and then the semifinal is best of 3, and the final is best of 5. So you'll see us play 7 sets. Each major tournament will go 1, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So, like I said, the difference of the time in the beginning from a minor to a major is especially the 3 sets you're playing more. Since you play in the semis 1 more set, and you play 2 sets. Since you play 2 sets more, semis and in the final, according to the minor, and that makes a difference of at least 8 minutes. Like I was saying, like 20 and 30, but normally it's like 18, 19, and 26, 27 in best way.
Yeah, case. That's a good way of putting it. It's basically you're playing 5 sets and then 7. So if you get about 4-minute sets, then you're going to take 8 minutes longer doing a major tournament than a minor tournament.
Correct.
Roughly. I mean, 8 for Berlin, probably like 9 or 10 for me. I have my moments, but yeah, the consistency is not always there. Fall asleep at the wheel sometimes.
Yeah, and Brian is giving me, like I thought, a little bit struggle, but it's completely fine. Oh, he's playing a net roll volley. Oh, I hate that so much. He's doing that a lot. He's loving to do that. And he played an ace. Nice.
I'm paying him to help me catch up.
Yeah, you will.
I've tipped your emulator heavily to draw Brian at least 3 or 4 times.
I think I'm losing a game here. Not yet. Still deuce again. Yeah, that's tough, like I said. He's grabbing a lot of boards.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's one of the 3 that you would prefer not to see at all, right? Yeah. I mean, so you've got Chip and Rich and Brian. For me, it's just Chip and Rich. I don't really, I don't have a Brian equivalent on my side since I'm playing as Brian.
Correct. Yeah, the problem, like I said, is with Brian that there is like some difficult setups because he's grabbing some balls and he's very fast. So when he's grabbing the ball is very slow, and yeah, he's just put it back and then directly continues to volley with you. So yeah, you are struggling a little bit when you play against him, especially when you're slow, what I'm right now, because every other character can continue with the speed even when he played the tournament before, what is not fair, but it's like it is, and you are like really slow with your I always forget the name. Team? What is it called when you're like getting weak? Fatigue. That's what you said.
Fatigue, yeah. Mm-hmm. You are correct.
What is also to see is when you're playing in the bottom, it's much easier to play the opponent than when you're in the top.
Oh
There's
yeah, the physics are so different.
it's like you have to suggest where the ball is in the back, and you have a shadow on the ground, yes, but sometimes you could see us swinging a smash and don't hit the ball because the timing is so difficult to know when to hit the ball. And yeah, apologize for every miss hit. It's really much easier from the bottom than from the top to play against the players. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
If we would
the
prefer, we would play always in the bottom, not in the top, not even
absolutely,
once.
yeah. It really felt like they spent the time to work on the physics of the bottom half of the screen, and then they ran out of time.
Yeah, something like that.
This will have to do. But yeah, there's multiple times where, like to the point that I had made before about a Don J strat that you'll see, about 3 hours from now. Uh, the the concept of a double topspin to hit a top spin shot down the line that he will chase down because he's too good. But then to follow it up with a second topspin, keeping before the ball even bounces, that then launches it over his head.
Yeah.
If I try to replicate that technique when I am at the top of the screen, at the time that I would normally hit the second topspin, the ball is at waist height, but the game thinks it's over my head, so I just try to smash it instead, and I just miss.
Mm-hmm.
Or I smash it into the net, or into the ground in front of the net. And it was always frustrating to me as a kid.
Yeah,
It
I
was
can
probably what
imagine.
kept me from beating Don J. I want to say I probably beat him once, but it had to have been sheer luck on those service games.
It's like, yeah,
um,
you really struggle when you're playing casually against Don J, for example, because yeah, he's playing all the balls back, and yeah, you could be, when you are playing it casually, you could be winning very closely, like 4 or 5 sets, 7-6 or whatever. I remember things, many sets like that. And I was really happy when I finally beat it, the last character, because it was so hard. Because you get every ball and he hits so strong, and you just hope that he's making double faults and things like that. If you have played
yeah.
casually.
And what would probably end up happening is that you would figure out a good approach for when he would serve out wide, but then he might react the same exact way 2 or 3 points in a row, and you might feel like you've got a rhythm going, but really it's just he decided to not attack the net, and the very next time you try to do it, he attacks the net and just just does a serve and volley and wins the point. And you get frustrated and you keep going to the well, and it just won't work. um, so I felt uh, very accomplished the first time I ever beat Don J in a match. It
Yeah,
was,
I was feeling a lot of positive energy in that moment. Correct.
absolutely. See, I remember at the beginning, when we started doing the Don J percent category, we were struggling to go 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, 6-love, 6-love, 6-love.
yeah.
And it was rough. We were, it was tough to win games consistently. Now, of course, this was before all the serve strats that Berlin found that trivialized 9 of those 18 games. But all the same, it was still, it was really, really tough to get him to behave properly for the entire match. I mean, and now that's always a struggle, but in a different way nowadays. So,
Yeah.
because now all of a sudden, since the 9 service games are basically trivialized.
Yeah.
You are reliant, or rather dependent, on his first service percentage, on whether he serves inside or outside, because he'll behave very differently.
Correct.
He's very erratic for all of his speed.
So
It
yeah.
just causes major challenges.
Yeah, I was just playing around. I was thinking, okay, is there perhaps a chance to get some easier serves, because he was playing it always back, and then I just randomly pressed some things, and I just found out by pressing the shoulder button and just the serve that he didn't catch it. I was trying it again, and he was doing the same again and again. And I was like, what? And I was,
Like restart the emulator to make sure that it wasn't a bug.
yeah, correct. But it was no bug. And yeah, in the end, I found out the strat what functions as for a lefty with the L shoulder button and for the righty with the R shoulder button. So both functioned the same, and that gave us the chance to speedrun Donjay a little bit easier because the service is not anymore the problem for us. The returning is just the problem. So we have free service games, what helps us a lot to speedrun it. Like we don't, at least we would always end up theoretically in the tiebreak, at least with that serve strats.
Yeah, the serve strat, you could just sleep. You could just go to sleep on the return games if you don't have a clue, and you could be completely reliant on simply winning 1 point on his serve to win the tiebreaker, and then hey, poof, you've won a set with no strats.
So your brother on my stream was helping you. I struggled a lot with Brian. I didn't lose the game, but I lost a lot of points. So GG.
Oh, there you go, man. That's excellent. See, it's funny that you say my brother, because I immediately thought of my actual brother.
Your actual brother.
Who is also a speedrunner.
Yeah, that's
but
right.
does not speedrun this game. Although the funny thing is that when we played growing up, he used John. So it's very comfortable to see you use John.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm used to playing against John. This is fine.
Yeah, I saw you playing together Marble Madness. That was hilarious. It was really cool. But
yeah,
we are not focusing. But one thing what I just found really hilarious in Marble Madness is that in co-op mode you can really crash the game many times. Just by getting, I don't know, the wrong things. That was just fun.
Yeah, just completely randomly.
Yeah.
Or at least it felt random. It turns out it's specific sequences that make the game crash, but it's always fun finding new ones.
Yeah, and like we already said, the most time saves we can have, or time loss we can have, is because of RNG. If the opponent is grabbing balls, like play the balls back what normally are not playing back, depends also how strong the character is we play against each other. And there are some characteristic players who always play the ball back or try to play the ball back, are very fast on the feet and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's never, when you're never talking about saving time, you're always talking about minimizing how much time you lost.
Yeah, correct.
It never feels like, oh, I just saved a couple seconds there. It's, oh, I just lost seconds. The game tries to demoralize you the entire time.
Yeah, there's one character called Rob, for example. He has a crazy first serve. What means his first serve is so strong that he's always hitting the first serve out, for example. So you want him that he's playing always the second serve, that he's putting in really consistently, instead of letting him play a first serve, what you can force him by playing balls or when he's inside of the T line. So yeah, there are some strats against some enemies, and fastest way to win a match is getting 4 aces and 4 return winners, and hoping that in the return winners your opponent is playing every ball inside, and then you have a fast game. But like we already said, we just repeat our inputs every time again. So yeah, it would be definitely for sure a more interesting run if we would never do that, but if we would put a category in no topspin allowed or something, that would be a crazy long run, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even know. I'd have to completely rethink the way I play. I remember when you were tinkering with using Brian for the any percent runs. And I gave you a quick tutorial on how to play as a right-handed player. Yeah. Press the X button. It's like, I don't know I'm not necessarily sure I know how to play this game without topspin and actually just work on positioning the opponent with slower techniques. That's part of the reason why the Don J match is always a struggle for me, even now, because that one return of service game where I'm at the top and I can't use my topspin strats and I have to go lob. It's so I can't even think of the word to describe how bad I am at doing it consistently. Because I spent decades eschewing the lob. And now it's like, oh, that's part of the run now? That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't use the lob strat when I'm returning serve at the bottom. I just hope that my backhand is strong enough to get past him.
yeah, you're in the bottom. You're better. Go on.
Yeah.
You risk it. You risk it that you're passing him, right? Is it like that?
Yeah. Because if he charges the net, I can kind of get stuck. He can just kind of do his. He's trying to do a serve and volley, and he can be successful sometimes. If my cross court winners are not winners, and he charges, he can just have it and put it away, and I can't chase it down. But so it goes. So yeah, so I mean, again, we were starting to talk about any percent, which was it's. Oh, I mean, I know you want to talk about this.
I don't want to talk about that grind, but it's fine. It's fine.
So the any percent category is the rule is you have to win the circuit or finish number 1 in the circuit. You can finish tied for number 1. That's fine. There are 8 tournaments that you can enter, and again, in this category, you're going to see us enter all 8. But you can choose to not enter tournaments, and a tournament will kind of whiz by you in about 15 seconds as you just see who won and see the standings and just move on. You get 60 points for winning every minor and 100 points for winning every major. And there are 32 total characters in this game. I think was it like 10 of which you can choose to as playable, and then there's 22 others that you can never pick. And there are only 16 slots, as you may have seen in the brackets. So there's only 16 places for people to enter, and who enters is completely random. It was not completely random. I would say that, and you would agree with me as well, that it seems like the bottom half of the players have a tendency to prefer the minor tournaments, and the top half have a tendency to prefer the majors. And there's seems to be a certain extra level of participation from like the top, I don't know, like 4 or 5 players.
There are some who will play more and some less. It's just completely random, I would say. But yeah.
So I mean, it feels like there are certain aspects that are not completely random, but it's hard to pin down what, apart from making like really sweeping generalizations. But so the key would be is that so you ask yourself the question, and this is the question that has effectively, for lack of a better term, plagued us for over a year now. How few tournaments can you enter and still finish number 1?
Yeah, we started with 2 majors and 1 minor, right?
Was it we did again did I do was it all 4 majors? Was that the first category? This is the first version of the category that I ran because I was just mirroring what Javi did.
Could be.
I think that was it.
4 majors or 3 majors? Perhaps you cut it down 1. I don't remember.
Maybe, yeah, because like 400 points is a lot. Yeah. But so that's the whole thing. If you feel like you could probably win initially, probably felt like you could win with, like somewhere around 300 comfortably.
Yeah.
Like 300, you would feel like maybe you had to reset once or twice.
Yeah.
But by and large, you're gonna win if you get 300 points. Yeah. Again, this being out of a possible, what is it, 640 that we're gonna get here.
Yeah, correct.
So there's so many points to be had, but you could get less than half and still comfortably win. So it became, so how far can I pare this down? And what we were doing, I think we were doing probably like 2 majors, 1 minor.
Yeah, you came up with that idea. It was always a going and coming back between us. Like you always did something, and then I just tried to do the same because you
Oh
just
yeah, well
cut it
that
down with
was
time or something.
yeah. That was the fun thing. That's the fun thing about us trading the world record for any percent back and forth is that it felt like I was the first one to be able to execute new strats, but your execution overall and your patience with the game is better than mine for sure. So, you know, like I would be like, "Oh, cool! I figured out how to do this way," and you're like, "Cool!" And you come back a week later or like a couple days later, you're like, "I just did the same thing but 2 minutes faster." That makes sense. That's about what I expect.
Yeah, but you have definitely more luck about routes and
Oh
about
yeah,
points.
my cartridge is so lucky. I can't even begin to describe how lucky my cartridge is. To me, well, so I, you know, we gradually worked it down to you got a very challenging.
112 was the last before that. What we just said the last week or the last weeks.
Yeah, yeah. That so it was like it was the 90% world record has changed hands 4 times this week, which is amazing and really cool. It had been Berlin had it for a while, and I had effectively put the game down for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, after Danje percent did not get accepted to AGDQ, I just kind of focused on other stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we got this awesome opportunity to run 101% here for Really Long A Thon. So I picked it back up. I did 100% run, and then I was like, I can practice doing any percent runs. I don't need to do the full 3.5 hours every single time I want to practice.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot. Um, so what ended up happening was I was not happy with my previous any percent time. I don't remember if I just got a bad draw or execution. Like I don't know if I had like chip in that run. Probably did. That's probably where the time save was.
Yeah.
Where
That
I
was
just had bad execution
113.
down the stretch.
I think you
Yeah,
had
it
a
was
113.
113. Yeah, like a mid 113, I think. So
Yeah.
like it felt like I could do substantially better. So I decided I was going to grind it out a little bit, and then it turned out I didn't even have to because like the first night that I went back to it, I got a run in. Because the thing is that if you do 2 minors, 1 major, you end up with 220 points, and even with a 32 player field, you have to spread those points out really well. Or when I say you, I mean the game has to spread those points out really well.
Yeah.
And it is complete randomness that lets you also play tennis every now and again. Because that's really all it is. I mean, there were no doubts that if you got the right RNG, that you were going to finish the run with a relatively competitive time. You could practically do that in your sleep, you know. So, but it was all about just will the game give me the opportunity to finish this faster? Because that's what speedrunning's all about: getting to the end faster.
Yeah.
You know, with the given rule set. So it became this wacky chase of resets, reset after reset after reset. And so I got that was it a lower 112 than you had,
Yeah,
and then
112, 13 or something.
yeah, and then you came back with it was a 110,
Yeah.
but you had chip as well. So like
Yeah.
when we go back and forth with the whole thing of I managed to complete this 2 minutes faster. You could have completed it 5 minutes faster,
Yeah.
but you got a bad draw that I didn't get. So it's
Yeah.
just that the execution difference was very apparent.
I had a
But at that
one.
point, go ahead.
No, I just say I would have a 107 without that one character what we try to avoid. And I hope we are
Yes,
not showing him. That's all.
yes, I hope too. I hope nobody gets to see Chip apart from his name occasionally showing up somewhere else in the bracket.
Yeah, go
That
on.
is my hope.
So yeah, like I said, I got the 110, and then yelsraek for sure wanted to finish the history that he tried to say, okay, hey, what about trying even because it's only 20 points difference? What about trying the crazy rule called 2 majors, no minors, right?
Yep. Yeah, because essentially, the first time I completed a two minors, one major route, I finished with 220 points, and second place was at 190. So I'm like, hey, wait a second. I think we can actually do this. But again, that was with I had taken 20 points away from somebody. So, who knows if it's going to go someplace else. But, I really think that if we grind this out, we should be able to find some route where you can win with only 200 points. And I mean, I was expecting like a massive like four-way tie. The RNG would have to be just so ridiculous.
Mm.
And it turns out, I mean, I'm kind of right. That the RNG has to be ridiculous. Although you can speak to that more than I can. So
Yeah,
again, with my lucky cart.
it was like just grinded that a little bit. He had only streamed like 2 or 3 nights, and he finished really the 2 majors 0 minor route, finishing even as number 1 with 200 points and the second one with 190. The ridiculous thing about this route is that you need a lot of players having the same points, that they're equalizing themselves. And in the end, I think if you see the draw, you have like one guy like you with 200 and a lot of 190s, 80s, and 70s because they are spreading out the points. The point system is like getting 10 points, 20 or 30, 50, 30 or 50, and 80. Depends if you're playing a major or minor, but everybody gets points who's joining the tournament. And they're always like the strong characters who just collect the points. So yeah, just needed only 170 resets or something to get the route
Yeah,
done.
it was less than 200, which was staggering. I had no concept for that. I mean, I was prepared to, because I was going to want to finish one run in this category in that route. I was prepared to just grind this out over however many like days or weeks it took after this marathon. But I by no means expected to have it in time for the marathon.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But yeah, less than 200 resets, and I just happened across like you said, like so the point distribution for minor tournaments, it's like 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 for the 5 different places you can finish, whether you lose in the first or second, lose in the semis, lose in the finals, or win the finals. And then in a major tournament, it's 10, 30, 50, 80, 100. So yeah, lots and lots of points are being handed out to everybody. So to get that all the RNG to go your way, so that the top tier of players of NPCs just decide not to enter most tournaments because they would win them otherwise.
Yeah.
And then when they don't, the people that win are staggered, and mid-tier players, but the same mid-tier player doesn't win 2 tournaments, and if they win one of the big ones, they stay away from most of the other ones, which is what I ran into
Yeah.
with in mine. I think Ken finished in second place with 190 points, but he had 190 points
Yeah.
after London,
Yeah.
and he just didn't enter either of the last 2 tournaments. Like complete baffling luck.
Ignoring the tournaments, not playing
Yeah.
anymore.
He thought he had it in the bag. He just took the rest of the season off.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
And I was very happy for yelsraek that he finished it because he proved it. Because it was still in that time, it was is it really provable? Even when he had that 220, and he finished it with 200 points. And so did I try the same, grinding the game out, but I played like 4 or 5 days in a row, 10 to 15 hours every day, and I was not getting even one run. I was 2-3 times close, but every time the RNG or the game decided to not finish or let me finish. So it looks like my lefty players, what I use, are not allowed to finish the game 2 majors, 0 minors. But a right-hander like Brian can finish it. Why is it like that? Because I played Brian then, and the first run directly functioned yesterday. So it was really wonderful to finally get that run going. And yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird that at the end of the day he had to play as my character to make it work.
Yeah, I really wanted to finish it with the characters I play, but it was not possible to finish it for reasons whatever. And I really tried everything. Really, I had like 2,500 resets or something. If you don't believe me, well, just watch my last streams. So yeah.
And I mean, the funny thing is, it's a group effort, or at least it can be. We like to make it a group effort as we were playing, because when you're playing, you're kind of speeding through the game, you're speeding through the brackets, you're speeding through the standings. You don't really have time to look at everything.
Yeah.
So what we would end up doing is, if the other one was watching the stream and we knew that they were, then we could rely on them to essentially clip once we get through the first 5 tournaments, because basically that's the route. You skip the first 5 tournaments, and the bogey that we had set it to is if the leader after 5 only had 150 points, then we would play it out and see if we could make it work.
Yeah.
But you'd have the other person be your clipper. So you'd go into the 6th tournament, you'd sit down and start playing, and they would cut a clip to see they'd just rattle off like the top 6 players into chat, so you could see what the top 6 scores were, and then they would take a look at the bracket to see, oh, well, is your run already dead? Essentially, like doing a viability check.
It's like you're watching the point, you're watching the points, and you're watching also how the draw in the London tournament is. So you can possibly see, okay, is there a guy who can play semis? Like, you're always watching the draw, because we are skipping the draw. We don't want to see that so much because it takes time, mostly.
Yeah. I mean, you figured out at the end of the day that you could probably afford 10 seconds here and there to just take a look to validate for yourself, at least to some degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember I was there was a point in time where I was doing the clipping myself on my streaming PC, and it messed up my sound. So I actually had a run that had a chance, and I got halfway through, but nobody could hear the game because it just messed with me going through and loading all these clips on my streaming PC while I'm trying to stream the game kept creating issues with my streaming PC. So at that point, I grabbed my laptop and I started doing clips on my laptop while playing. Like, I just had it like on a TV stand next to me.
I know.
So I was like, okay, well, I get into a tournament, the numbers looked okay. So here's the deal. Because there's not much for as seemingly effortless as this whole thing is, you don't get breaks. There's no logical gap to go and look at something.
Yeah.
So, you're mashing Y at the court transfers so that you don't get the change court, so that you don't lose time, because there is a little scenic side view that nobody gets to see as you watch the 2 players walk past each other to switch sides.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat, and it has neat music that nobody will ever hear. And
yeah, we'll never see the changing thing, correct.
But yeah, so like you're mashing Y there. When you're serving, you need to be focused on making sure that you get your service points in properly. Because every point's going to be subtly different, and you just want to make sure that you're not making stupid mistakes there that cost you time. So realistically, the only opportunity you have during the 12 points in a 1-set match where you're returning serve. So I would give myself the first round match just to see the standings. And then I'd give myself the second 1-set match just to be able to see the bracket. So I'd give myself, I'm like, okay, well, if I play, 10 minutes worth of 2 sets or whatever, that doesn't feel nearly as much of a loss of time as if I played through this entire tournament, only to find that the run's already over and I could have reset 20 minutes ago.
Correct. That's why always, when you had been not clipping it, always watching a little bit like in the seconds, going up the ranking even to lose 10 seconds, and watching the bracket if possibilities are there that we can finish the run or at least enter the next tournament, our next major, with not having someone already having passed 200 points.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You could get through and determine that you're fine through London, but then there's also one more tournament that you're not going to enter.
Tokyo, the
after
minor.
London. Yeah, the last minor tournament. So you could get through, and the RNG might seem fine, and then you skip Tokyo, and somebody has 200 points already. You go, oh well, shit, I lost half an hour.
Correct.
And that's just how it is. So
Yeah.
yeah. Shout outs to Zelnos for accepting a sports game
Yeah.
into a marathon. Hashtag give golf a chance.
Yeah, how long do they try to bring golf into GDQ? For years, I guess.
For forever it feels like.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to give up. I feel like if enough of us submit sports games, maybe they'll give in and it'll bend so far we'll get a full sports block. So you'll get golf, we'll get the Don J race in. So you'll get golf, you'll get tennis, and just need some folks with other sports games to chime in for.
Yeah,
We'll make it happen. It can happen.
for sure.
It probably won't happen, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm very grateful that we got the chance to show this off because it is very much a different genre than what you typically see in marathons in general, and this marathon in particular is very since it's long games, you're going to be very heavily RPG focused. I mean, I know we had like Mario Party in earlier today, but still, largely RPG focused. So it's a nice little break, give you a different flavor. So there's a couple crazy people out there that like to play tennis for hours at a time. Hi, that's us.
Yeah, we grew up with that game, so yeah, it has a
Yeah.
place in our heart for sure.
Oh yeah, for me in particular, like this was during. I mean, when this came out, what was it? It was like Sampras and Agassi were big,
Yeah,
right?
91, correct.
Yeah, so I mean, I remember, for me, the start of, my summer vacation from school, was always Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Like when I was in school, like I knew that was what always told me that summer was officially here. Was that I would sit around at home the first 2 weeks watching Wimbledon.
Nice. Yeah, the 90s had been really great for tennis in that time. There had been really, really strong characters. I remember in the 90s, most of the characters had been really equalized in the top 10, so everybody could win against the other one. So it was a really good area for tennis because, like I said, there was not like top 2, top 4 or whatever. Like the whole top 10 could win against each other and had been really equalized. Agassi, Sampras, Courier, Becker, Ivanisevic, really good, really great characters. Edberg. Yeah, and I grew also up, and that is why I bought the game when it came out, because I had a Super Nintendo and it was the releasing title. So yeah, I said, let's play this. Let's play tennis.
Yeah.
So I had Rich in semis, by the way.
Oh gosh. Well, so that helps again. That helps rebalance things a little bit. So Berlin got some bad RNG. If are you playing him right now? I assume. I assume we're both in the semis here.
No, I'm already in the final. Or is it the final?
Oh wait, no, that's right. That's right. No, I'm sorry. This is a minor. I saw the best of 3. Yeah. So yeah. So what you saw when in Berlin's previous match was one of the bad RNG rolls. Rich is a bad RNG roll, and it's very subtle. But whenever Rich serves a ball, instead of bouncing the ball twice like every other non-play like NPC does, he bounces it 4 times. So every time he serves, it's basically an extra second or so.
Yeah.
So if he has a fault, then apart from losing the time from the fault like you normally would, you're also going to lose an additional second because he's going to take his time serving too. That's certainly the least bad RNG draw you can get, but it's still really annoying.
Yeah. It's like according to the double bounce, if you're just putting it up, even with the best RNG that he's putting all the serves in, what are like 12 serves, you are losing 30 seconds. direct.
Yeah,
Just
thereabouts.
because
Yeah.
of that. Just because you play a character. That's the thing what we just have to explain, that even when you cannot imagine, there is a lot of RNG in this tennis game. What can help one guy and the other one not, and it's a race until the end.
Indeed. couldn't have said it better myself. So.
Yeah. So most important thing is having a good draw. So even when you would play a 100% run really as a speed run, like looking, you have to reset in some parts because you got in one tournament a guy you don't want that he's showing up, and then you would reset even after 2 hours or something. That would be a typical 100% speedrun, because somebody can show up whenever he wants. This is an RNG thing somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how you had the patience to grind down the 100% category. I'll be honest.
Well, my 100% PB, I remember I had also a rich match in the same tournament here. This one.
Okay.
So it's like repetition right now, and most of the time I had okay enemies. Let's say opponents. They're not enemies, they're opponents.
Oh no, they're enemies.
They're enemies. Yeah, and so I just grinded it again. I played it at least again 100% because my last 100% PB was two parts long, because my router just reset it in the moment when I had my run, so I had like a minute away and I had 2 parts. So I just said to myself, okay, I do that again with a new strat, only because of the new serve strats. I do that again because I have free time save everywhere, so I get a better time. Because the last PB what I had, I played really well, but played really consistent. It would be very difficult to beat that. But with the new serve stat, what gives us a lot of aces, it's definitely easier to save time everywhere.
Oh man, so I just won a point on my serve, but I don't know why I did it, but I looked away for a second. I was serving, so I just assumed that I won the point, but I didn't. And I was not in position to smash, but I tried to smash anyway, and I just whiffed. But I was able to run the ball down and hit a topspin winner to the corner, all in the same breath. That was pretty bad.
It would be fun if you could play between the legs here in that game, but they didn't add this mechanic. They didn't add here. They only add the grabbing. So what I wonder is why they're not showing the knees a little bit more blooded when you're like grabbing all the time or whatever. It would be a
it's true.
funny thing what they put in. I mean, especially on hardcore and on
yeah, show some blood, man. I mean, Super NES wouldn't even show blood on Mortal Kombat, so I don't think they're going to show like skinned knees on Super Tennis.
Yeah.
Sad to say.
You have some characters who are like grabbing the left one, then directly the right one. It's like every point they're trying to grab. So I mean, I don't want to see the knees of them in real life. That would be funny, definitely. So yeah, I was the first one who finally finished the 100% run. It was definitely not easy to be concentrated for so long time, doing always the same movement. So yeah, it's a lot of patience you need, and you did that, so you know what it is.
Yeah, I had to do at least one full run before the race. What's going on here? Holy mackerel. Okay, sorry. That was just an unnecessarily long rally.
Ozipone, there is no 100%, 101% category on the leaderboards because we don't have that category. We just made that for that marathon the first time. So you see first time ever recorded run, in that case even a live stream, where we play the whole game, not only 100%, not only Don J separate, we play everything together.
Yeah, so like Roland said, so this is effectively an aggregation of the 100% and Don J categories.
Yeah,
as we don't have a category currently on the leaderboard where you do everything the game has to offer.
You could put
We've gotten
that.
close, but we haven't gone all the way.
You could put that, but I don't know if we
Yeah,
want to do that.
we'll have 2 runs after this.
Yeah, and we
We'll
just
have a number 1 and number 2.
like the other ones. But the funny thing is, we got even some runners in the 80%. There have been some guys submitting runs, even when there have been 2 hours or whatever. Like we have already 5 people in 80%.
So it's not completely devoid of people participating. So that's good.
Yeah. Current heat world record. Yes, indeed.
Yes, the winner of the race will have the 101% world record.
So it's a confirmed world record. We don't even have to do other things. So you see live a world record on screen from one of us in that category. What is not existent. I wonder what would be 102%. I'm knowing what would be 200%, by the way, Gels.
200%. No thanks. So for 102%, I would say you have to do the 101%, but then you also have to enter a password successfully. Because I don't know if anybody's noticed the passwords when they've come up between tournaments, but
password percent, you would win that.
Yeah, the password system in this game is strong.
Yeah.
I want to say that the password that you have to enter to get to the Don J match, if you just want to like go there directly so that you can practice. I mean, all of them are the same length, but it's, what is it? So each row is 14, 3 rows of 14, and then the last row you use what?
7, 9, I think.
Or like I think it's 10. I think there's only four empty spaces at the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's like a crap. I already math. I can't math while I'm playing tennis. 42 and it's. I mean, it's like a 50 plus character. 50 plus character password. Yeah.
You normally need always a minute, I think, when you put the Don J password in. Or
yeah, I haven't quite got it memorized, but the chunks are coming to me slowly. So like I can remember like 10 character sequences nowadays. But I can't get the whole thing without looking. I always have to consult my notes. I should practice that.
There's a question in the chat from Ozzy Pound. Why we call it 100%? Do you want to answer that? Just for him?
So we go with the 100% name because those categories were specifically about circuit mode. And more specifically, so the circuit itself being 8 tournaments long, and 100% basically going for winning every tournament. Yeah, not so much just participating in every tournament, but maximizing your score in the circuit mode and queuing the credits.
Getting all the points what are possible, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact, because essentially the Don J match happens after the credits. You get to the end of the credits, and then you press a button, and the password screen appears with a long ass password that will help you get to Don J in the future, should you desire self harm, and and then from there you then play that match. So for 100%, that was always considered to be an additional piece, but not actually part of the run. Whereas, in practice, I could see that what we're about to do right now probably should be 100%, since we're not going above and beyond what the game has to offer. We're doing all of it. But we're also not the mods on this page from speedrun.com, so we don't get to make that call. Maybe if we ask him to create a 101% category, he'll be like, "There's no such thing as 101%." He'll rename everything.
Yeah.
We'll see. Probably not. Like, you guys are crazy. We're just gonna do whatever.
To the question if there is doubles, yes, but there is no doubles tournament, so I don't know if it was not possible to put it on the cartridge, but you can only enter the tournament circuit as a single player, woman or man at least, but you cannot play as doubles. You can play as doubles for exhibition, sets and ground phase, whatever you want, but you cannot play tournaments as doubles, so there is no co-op mode possibility, Eddie. I'm sorry for that, and it would be very difficult for me to play it with Jels, since I have to fly some hours, like 12 or something.
Yeah. The commute would be really bad, yeah. Just to come over and play some doubles.
Come on, let's have a double tournament, no problem, 3 hours, and then see you.
I have to be at work tomorrow morning, so...
Yeah, actually, when I'm thinking about that right now, it would be an interesting thing to play with doubles, perhaps even with a computer, and then, I don't know, your computer is messing up everything. That would be a big RNG thing. But
like,
yeah.
do I get to serve all the time, or do I have to deal with the computer serving for me? That could be a deal breaker.
Since you're
Plus, having to play with the alleys open too. I mean, it just feels like just be difficult to get used to.
You are knowing a lot of NES games, right?
Some. I won't say I know. Particularly in these crowds, I won't say I know a lot.
There was one game called Super Spike V-Ball, if you know this, and there was also like you played beach volleyball, and you.
Yeah, you know, one of my River City Ransom counterparts, Nista from Sweden. I think I've seen him play that. I think I saw him play it at a marathon once, and I saw it was a co-op mode, and that was a lot of fun to watch. I myself have never played the game, but which should surprise nobody.
But yeah, there's for example
the thing. Looked like a lot of fun.
Yes, just like I said, there's a thing you can play alone with two computers as opponents and one computer as your partner, and you just hope that your partner and the computer is just catching the balls. Just
I gotcha. Okay.
Think about that right now. So yeah.
I gotcha.
RNG again. The RNG would be high in that game. Is your partner doing a double fault and you're screaming at him and say, "Hey, why are you doing a double fault?"
You're wasting time.
Yeah, correct.
Why are you wasting my time?
But yeah, I played also when I was younger with a friend of mine, where the guy who brought me even into tennis and real tennis. I played this game and we played doubles. Yeah, it was fun for sure.
Yeah.
You played for sure with your brother, I guess.
Yeah, I played with my brother a lot, and I would also friends would come over after school, and I would force them to play it. Just convince it was always a tough sell at first to convince them that it was fun to play a tennis video game, but they bought into it.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the right competitive people there. I mean, these are the same people that I would spend all night playing like Tekken 2 with later on in my high school years. So, yeah. You give them any sort of game where there's a winner and they'll jump right in. So.
Yeah. Yes. The interesting thing is when you play against real players, that there is not anymore this easy execution. So.
Oh yeah, no, my brother would repeatedly beat me at this game. I could not read him at all. Not in the slightest.
So your brother is Donjay, you would say?
My brother is my Donjay, yeah.
Nice. And when you're watching right now the game, you see that the line guys, there's always one on the knees. Some people, when they're popping in the stream, ask me why is this. In real life, it's like the lineman who's watching the serve is going on the knees to see the ball if it bounces on the line. So they just copy that from the real tennis, but since they only show the top part and not the bottom, they always have one guy on the knees. And when you're seeing a ball, the guy is actually going up, if you never saw that. So that's like a typical how it goes in real life.
Yeah, it's a nice little added touch that they put into the game.
Yeah.
That and it's totally Mario as the referee. Mario without his hat on.
I would be happy if they would use, in a way, a cheat thing or whatever. You beat the game and then you hear the Mario sound really like, ow, like it's his voice. But I'm really fine with that kind of voice what they used. I would not feel comfortable to hear Mario's spaghetti talking in out play for and everything. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Mario, definitely. You're right. Mario.
It's a me.
No Nintendo game without Mario in that time, it was at least.
Not allowed.
Yeah, we can also talk a little bit about the surfaces, but I think everybody who knows tennis a little bit can understand that the clay court is the slowest pace, hard court is the middle thing, and the grass court is the fastest pace and less bounce. So they put in that game kind of the how courts are actually really working. So since we are both like right now in Paris Open, Roland Garros, we have the slowest ground, what is bouncing highest, and normally every enemy would collect or touch the boards much more often, because yeah, you have a slow phase what is bouncing high and gives a lot of chances for your players that they continue playing, things like that. And grass court is very fast and does not bounce very high, so yeah.
It's funny that like perspective, I guess, as a tennis player versus cheer. Sorry, I just saw the
I saw it too. I saw it too.
Cheering for the Marble Madness memer. How's it going?
When's Marble Madness speedruns again, Giles? Huh?
Oh, you know, you never know. There have been revelations in the Marble Madness any percent in recent months, as a group of Spelunky players have come in and decided that they wanted to run. I think it was largely. Wow, how am I blanking on the guy who holds most of the world records in Spelunky? Darn it! What, am I gonna have to pull up Discord on my phone to confirm this? I feel really bad because he's gonna run at AGDQ, and I can't wait to meet him.
Nice.
Oh, holy crap! Why can I not remember this? He better not be here. I feel really bad. But anyway, no, it was oh no, I had it and I lost it. Wow, I was just about to say his name and then I just forgot it again. But he was a big Marble Madness fan, and he decided that he wanted to start running it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Kinnijup. There we go. Kinnijup.
Nice.
I did have to pull it up on Discord on my phone. I couldn't. Yeah. But yeah, so it felt like Kinney was dragging folks from the Spelunky community into Marble Madness. But then we got one of the members. It's either Spef5 or Spief5. It's SPEF5. Who is now the world record holder in Marble Madness. He took to the game very naturally, and his movement is just so pure in that game. It's really a delight to see.
So he has talent.
Yeah, but collectively as a group, between Kenny and Spief and Mike is my Ike, and I think there was one other. Oh, it wasn't that there was one other one in the community that got like super good at the game. It was just that they revolutionized a few strategies for any percent. And then my buddy 82, who was sitting like right behind me in the standings, came back long enough to bop me with some of the new strats. So I was third for like 10 months, and now I'm down to 7th. So
wow,
I'll be back. That I'm not done with Marble Madness. You'll see it come back. I'll be memeing again before you know it.
Nice.
But right now we have to finish this tennis meme.
And I just made the smashing thing what I just mentioned before. Staying next to the ball and just swing the racket and not hitting it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what we want to avoid. But yeah, when you're on the top, sometimes it's very difficult to know when you hit and where to hit. Since yeah, you don't see hitboxes and they're very weird in that game, especially in the top part.
Yeah. The top side is all sorts of messed up,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term. But yeah, so going back to the surfaces, for me, and I could potentially be like misreading these the entire time, but as far as the speed of the ball movement, or like the speed at which the ball reacts when it bounces, I've always felt like hard court was the fastest, and then clay was in the middle, and then lawn court, just the play felt really slow because of the low bouncing.
You're not so wrong, because in the hard court, in this game, like it gets more speed and the bounce, like the combination of both, and that looks or makes it like looking really fast. But like I said, in real life, the grass court is definitely the fastest, according to that. But yeah, in this game, you're right. That
Okay.
it's like it bounces, and you have the feeling that it even gets more speed with the bounce. So yeah.
Yeah, no, like in real life, I can't imagine playing tennis on grass. I feel like the ball would just never come back up.
It's
But
like
and
almost
to a
floating.
point, that's kind of the thing. That's
It's like
that's not wrong. That's
rolling
not
or
a,
something.
yeah. For the world record, red eye for super tennis. The first of all, this category, this 101% category that we're running, has never been run before. Because it's an amalgamation of two different categories. But the 100%, which is everything that we're going to do except for the last match, Berlin has sub 315, right? It's like 314.59, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the world record for 100%. And then he also has the world record for Don J percent at what is 11 minutes and something.
Yeah,
Something insane. Like my PB is 1302 in that category, and
yeah, it's like 11 minutes and 13 seconds, and it's no losing point run, what I'm very proud of. So
yeah,
I beat a
that was
team.
very impressive.
Yeah.
I want to say that in my 1302, I lost 5 points total, but 2 of them were match points. I totally choked away the sub 13, which was my goal at the time,
Yeah.
and I guess still technically is a goal of mine, but I'm not really that interested in chasing it. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Donjay frustrates me too much.
yeah. Jels also said I am not grinding for that. He wanted to grind that to show that for GDQ in his videos, but in the end
Oh yeah,
he was
I
frustrated.
yeah, I didn't have a good feel for the Donjay category at all, but definitely wanted to be able to potentially run it at AGDQ. So against my better judgment, I grinded it down to 1302. And again, I would do it again. I would absolutely. I mean, I would. For me, the Don J match, if I would need to spend like hours just practicing returning from the top of the screen.
Yeah.
Just grinding away at that, because for me the movement is so fickle. Like it's really particular the position that I need to stand in. And when I get it right and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I can be like, a couple pixels off in my positioning and he'll behave completely differently than I thought he would.
Yeah. Sometimes also we have some interesting movements of our opponents. What you just mentioned is like sometimes our opponents coming forward, or sometimes they're even running back, and we don't know why. And Donjay does the same. Sometimes they're running back instead of running forward, and just you try to pass them, and they just somehow still play them. So it's kind of weird sometimes, the movement of players who play against.
Yeah, it is pretty random how much they choose to attack the net or not. And you really want them to attack the net because it makes the points resolve a lot faster. If you have, I mean, occasionally you'll come across one character that behaves really awkwardly. Like they'll come up and hit like a small, like a light volley, and then they'll run back to the baseline so that you can't hit a passing shot on them. And it's super frustrating.
It is.
And it'll always be guys that have really good lateral movement too. So you won't be able to just hit a really wacky drop shot to sneak past them either. It just won't. It won't work.
Yeah, another thing what is here in the game included is, for example, when the ball is next to the net, the ball kids are grabbing them. So yeah, there's also potential time loss just because a ball is next to the T line and is lying there. So yeah, there are a lot of small possible time losses here and there. For example, when you remember the serve in the middle, for example Don J or whatever you play, and then the ball is just waiting there until it's disappearing. I don't know why they made this, but some things what can lose some time just because of ball positioning after you win the point or lose the point.
Yeah, like that seems to be like it feels like you can try to figure stuff out parameter wise for what makes them behave a certain way, but it doesn't always feel consistent.
So until now, did you had some fair opponents, like easy to beat, or?
Yeah, all of my opponents have been pretty smooth. I almost went into Rich in the second round in Paris.
Oh.
But he lost. My OBS just disconnected temporarily. It seems to do this on longer streams of mine. It seems to do this like once a night. So hopefully, I'm back already. My internet connection on my desktop computer. I don't know if it's the way that I have the house wired, but it will do these little hiccups every now and again, which is just enough for me to lose OBS connectivity. Okay. So my stream may freeze, and okay, it looks like we're already back again. I can kind of see. I can see like the very, very top edge of both of our streams on my monitor. So it looks like it's already back. Good. And that'll be the hiccup for tonight. But that's why I needed a local recording of this. Since this will likely be my 100% PB as well. I'm gonna have to upload that.
So you are recording.
Oh, nice. I'm being told it didn't even drop out. That's good, Zelnus. That's good. That makes me happy. I know that. It's true. So, if I had been streaming on my channel, it would have cut it into two different videos. Yeah, which would have been really annoying.
Do you want to talk about our friend Chip?
Yeah, we. I mean, we're almost at the midway point of the 100% run here, and neither of us have seen him yet. I feel like talking about him might beckon him.
Please.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to say his name out loud anymore.
you had him in the any percent run. I had him in the any percent run before also. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you watch my any percent PB, you want to see just 6 minutes of sheer rage. Find the spot where I drew Chip.
Yeah, so Chip, what do we say about him? Chip is the guy who plays really slow balls, really slow. Time.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess the best way to describe him would be that he has almost like Don Jay's lateral movement. Like he moves side to side really fast and really well, but all of his shots are physics-defyingly slow.
And he's grabbing a lot of balls.
Yeah, like he will chase that. Like I have to use Donjay strats to win points on him sometimes. Trying to figure out exactly how to describe it properly. But yeah, it's basically like his shots move at half speed.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he does not move at half speed. He moves faster than you, arguably.
The other problem about this guy is that you cannot win points very easy, even with our strats. What we have, you somehow grab every ball, play them in slow motion, and I really mean slow motion. After we played chip, we have so much problems to re-come at the speed that the normal players have. So.
Oh yeah, it's for me. It's the equivalent of like if I had practiced Donjay today before this, I would have lost minutes in the first tournament trying to adjust to how slow everybody else is compared to Donjay.
Yeah.
It's that level of adjustment that he plays so much slower than everybody else that your reaction to the ball movement is just so different. Like you just have to. It's like relearning. It's like playing a different game for a couple minutes.
That's correct.
Hey, Mr. Pizak, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
Thank you for the good luck.
Thanks.
Cool. So yeah, so I mean, like basic strategies. Really, what you're doing is you're abusing the way the game responds to certain inputs. So there are different bits that you can do to adjust, like the speed of the ball and whether how much spin you put on the ball. And the AI in the game seems poorly written to react to things that have a lot of spin, whether it be top spin or the flat service techniques or whatnot. So
if you guys who are watching right now ever want to have a really mean run, just play without using the X button, and then try to beat the game. Could be really long until you are finishing every tournament by winning.
Yeah, I mean, for this case, I mean, this, partially this is the speedrunner in both of us wanting to optimize movement and whatnot, but a lot of this is also buried in decades of muscle memory as well.
Yeah.
Like we've both been playing this game for a long time.
That's right. It is a really, really long game, that's correct. But we are very proud and very happy that we finally found a 80% run under 1 hour. And without Gels pushing it, it would be not happening. So shoutouts to Gels pushing me playing that game for hours and days, last week's days.
Yes, I shoutouts to shoutouts to me for taking up so much of Berlin's time playing Super Tennis on stream.
Yeah.
He would have so many better Mega Man PBs.
Oh, whatever.
If it wasn't for me being like, "Hey, so have you played tennis recently?"
Yeah, I just wanted to prove that a lefty can also win 2 majors 0-, but it's not possible. Brian always crossed the line, the character of Gels. He just said, "No, I'm participating every tournament. No, I'm winning every tournament. No." So yeah, it was kind of not so easy. Yeah. The slice button.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine winning a point or a game using only the slice button. Like, then you just have to force them into unforced errors somehow. I'm not even sure how.
I remember I tried to win once points, only playing lobs until you're smashing into the net or whatever. So yeah, there are a lot of things what you can try out. Rats. If you want to have that emote, you have to subscribe you. Or?
Yeah. I'm not trying to shill for a subscription. I just really like the rats emote, and this is one of the last chances to use it appropriately for the game that it came from. But yes, the yells rats is my default subscription emote. So it's a good chat emote because people screw up in video games all the time. It's a part of our lives.
Yeah. And when you're a frustrated character here in this game, or your opponent, then he's throwing his racket, and you see a rats, and it could be only a one rats, or like he's continuing until the next screen is loading up. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to get the double rats. Those are rare.
Really frustrated opponent, like gets a disqualification. Not really, but yeah.
You should get a warning at least.
Yeah, at least warning.
That's where they needed the Mario sound effect as the judge to as the referee.
Warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I was playing professional tennis, you cannot imagine how many routes there are in that tennis game. Besides really only playing the game, there's not only the dress code, there's like how much time you have between every point. There are exactly 25 seconds you have time. If you are doing it longer during the serve, you get a warning if you're doing too often that. And you can even get points that you're losing. Another rule is like when you're going on toilet break and you're not back in a special time, you can lose points in games. So there are so many crazy rules what you cannot even imagine. Medical timeouts and whatever. Yeah. Not going for more, but just to understand how idiotic some things are with too many rules. So I prefer
But I
this.
mean, yeah, to a point, I get it because you want to keep everything moving and you don't want somebody abused. But if it's all, you would feel like if somebody is just, good-naturedly doing things and not trying to waste time, that it should be okay. But yeah, I mean, again, the moment they bend the rules for one person, they have to bend them for everybody. So they just gotta set the line somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. But I just say, for example, you have an Australian Open final, what is like 5 hours already long, and the guys can even not walk anymore, and then the referee says to the guy warning because he's not having the 25-second thing, and that 1 minute run before, like there's like there had to be at least a small balance, I would say. But yeah, they're professionals. They have to do this. And we are just playing super tennis.
Yeah.
With our grabbing opponents, try to get every ball, sliding on the ground.
Yeah, it's I'm up to the semis here in Beijing.
Yeah, I think I'm still in the round before.
Just starting. So, and still looks like it's going to be no bad players here. I think I've got Ruben here, and I think I've got Hero in the final. So, he's hoping for no chips or riches on your side.
I just beat it Ken right now. He wanted to get a game, but I went to deuce and then I won the game. So yeah, no game lost until now. Good thing until now for us too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did. That's there are occasionally a couple of moments here where I'll lose focus and drop a point. But if my opponent ever gets to 30, then you just kind of I stop talking for a minute and just bear down. Like, oh no.
I think this is the 5th time I play Phil in the tournament right now.
Wow, all 5, huh?
Yeah. It's every time.
So this wouldn't have been a good any percent run then.
Well, not really. Phil's not so bad, but he's a ball grabber, so yeah. He's playing a lot of boards back. So It's okay. I mean, he's not Brian, but he's Phil. Yeah,
That's a good way to describe Phil. He's Phil.
And what can I say? I mean, that when we introduced the characters, there are some characters who make more problems and some less. For example, you on your side, you really like to play against John, I guess, because he's really easy to beat. I'm not
Which is
sure.
funny because I said that and then he gave me trouble in the first round of this tournament.
Okay, okay.
He was a bit more erratic than Phil or Matt have been, and I've faced Phil and Matt. Like Phil and Matt feel almost like the same character to me.
Yeah.
But between the two of them, I think I've probably had 5 or 6 matches with them so far. But I think that was my first or second John match, and yeah, no, he likes to serve out really wide sometimes, and because he's a lefty. Ooh, there's my first service fault by just missing the ball because I missed my A press.
Nice. That looks for sure.
So yeah,
funny.
if you swing at the very peak of the ball toss, you will just miss, and it's brilliant.
Yeah. You look like a fool.
Oh yes, absolutely a fool.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I mean, like we already said, the input thing sometimes you cannot really see. It's like all of guessing.
Yeah.
I remember later tennis games, they even helped you with kind of a hitbox thing sometimes. So you know, now you have to hit the ball, especially in practice or whatever, but since it's a very basic game, and at that time the games didn't have so much space, I think, at least on the cartridges. It's yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense, MTI. I believe Phil is probably considered the best righty and John the best lefty in the game. So it would make sense that the strategy guide would point at those two folks. Or not the strategy guide so much as Nintendo Power. Oh no, you said strategy guide, you're right. I keep rereading and rereading your sentence. And but yes, that all makes sense. I ended up picking Brian because he's my namesake. I go by yelsraek on Twitch, but anybody who follows me on Twitter knows what my actual name is, and it is Brian. So imagine being 10 years old, getting a tennis game where a guy who looks like you has your name is in a game, and you're like, why would I pick anybody else? I don't even care during the credits that like 3 out of the 4 categories where they mention strength, he's just fair. They don't give numerical values for anything either. It's like poor, fair, good, great, best, I think it is.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, correct.
That might be an awesome tier in there too, I'm not really sure.
There's an awesome and there's an okay also.
Oh, there you go. So it's like 6 or 7 tiers. But, 3 out of the 4 for Brian is fair. He gets no love, but I will always play him.
Nice. So let's play the final of Beijing. See what we have.
Yeah, I'm playing Matt in the final right now.
I'm playing Brian. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh man, this is definitely a run for your side. Oh,
yeah, so far, it's either setting me up for a big letdown at the end, or if I can hold on to the lead here and just keep pace with you, make it to Don J and still have it be a race. That would be pretty awesome. There's 32 circuit matches, and then Don J would be the 33rd match.
Yeah, you
have to play four matches per tournament for 8 tournaments.
Yeah.
To put it another way, it would be, 51 sets of tennis total? So you go 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 1. Or no, 3, sorry. 1.
1 would be nice.
I beat Danjay in 1 set. Strats.
The 1 set strats. Just crash the game.
I won the best of 5, 1-0.
He gave up.
Don't ask me how.
He disqualified.
Yeah, the real winner is the person who turns this game on and then turns it back off.
Definitely. Didn't you say that? Was it you? I remember somebody told me that the menu, the manual, or even the box said like you hear real sounds of the balls or something. So they make a commercial like real tennis sound or whatever, real tennis feeling playing this game.
Oh, I did not say that, although I did hear, or somebody in my chat recently said that they really like the sound effects in the game. They sound like it's like a very satisfying sound effect.
Yeah.
Like you hit the ball, it feels real good.
Yeah, the interesting thing, for example, also on internet is for the password for Don J, they're existing, like mostly they're recommending two. This is John and Phil. So every other character you want to have, you have to figure out by yourself by beating the game.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there is a standard template as far as what inputs you should use, but since every character has different strengths and weaknesses, you'll have to just pick a character and play him for a little bit to see if you like him, and they all behave differently enough that the game actually gives you a decent amount of variety.
Yeah. Also,
surprisingly enough. It doesn't feel like you're just picking a template or a color palette. You can get used to a specific player. It's kind of nice.
When I was young, I was thinking that the clock in the back is always like in the real life and was always 150. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, every match takes an hour and 50 minutes. But they don't feel like an hour and 50 minutes. It's subtle.
It's like interesting.
Yeah, Golden, tennis, Super Tennis doesn't waste time with story. Just, get to the games. Give me the games, give me the brackets, give me the stats.
Yeah.
No. It would be great if it had season-long stat tracking. That would be pretty cool, apart from just your point total.
Yeah. Would be funny.
That would be nice to see.
Or something,
yeah.
Right?
Your first serve percentage and how many aces you had over the course of a season.
Yeah.
It would also be nice if they did unforced error tracking too, but can't have everything.
Yeah. Cartridge was not so big, or let's say they couldn't put so much. It was even already a lot, like increasing of putting data on it on a cartridge and putting a long game.
Oh hey, my yeah, I I am not. I'm not frozen. I'm still playing. Well, I am. My stream is frozen though. On the marathon, but thankfully, since they're capturing your audio, hopefully it'll resolve itself soon. Let's see here. I'm not dropping any frames. I'm still online. So I don't know what's going on there. Don't know what's going on. Trust me, everybody. I'm crushing it over here.
No, this game has not a story. The story is to beat it. The great Cyreniko.
Okay, Zelness is on it, so good. Good.
Happens sometimes, so was not your fault.
It does indeed.
Can you imagine that every time when you're beating the game with a character, you get like a cutscene, like in Street Fighter 2 or whatever? where
Oh,
there's
geez, yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, I think this game does a good job of no frills. That is correct, MTI. You can choose to skip tournaments if you want.
There's a yes or no in the beginning. You just have to do it.
Yeah, well, that's part of that plays into the any percent category that Berlin and I have worn down pretty fine at this point.
Yeah. We were joking
you
about.
try to see, yeah, you try to see how few points you can accumulate and still finish #1 in the rankings.
We were joking about that we have to pray every time yes. Imagine we are selecting accidentally no because we were playing the any percent. And then we are missing a tournament, and then we have to reset because we have to play everything again.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have accounted for that in our estimate. Estimate 7 hours, just in case 3 hours in I accidentally decide to not enter a tournament.
It would be funny.
Two hours hype.
Yep. Past the 2 hours.
Yeah, I think somebody asked about the estimate for this game. We have an estimate of 4 hours, which just accounts for some bad RNG that can happen, some bad opponents that you can draw.
Yeah,
we should come in under estimate comfortably, though.
Yeah,
like, not like super comfortable. Like, it'll be over 3.5, but it'll be somewhere between 3.5 and 4.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get to 4.
No, I don't think so.
I think the X button on my controller would have to break.
Play.
Sometimes Brian's backhand is too good. I swing a little early. You know, you're holding that direction on the D-pad, and I just wing it right into the doubles alley. Like, shit. Didn't want to do that.
Yeah, the problem of Jom is he has so much strength. Sometimes when you just want to play crossboard, you're just hitting it to the viewers or whatever. It's like really outside.
Yeah. Whoops. My bad.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Jay, later when we're playing, we don't have so much time to talk about him. That's why we're talking a little bit before, I guess. Is that sometimes Don Jay, when you're playing this lob strat, is even catching balls what would go out normally and smashing them. So you're putting really outside of the court, so you can play on the other side.
Yeah, you can use that to your advantage for sure. And just be kind of aggressive with your lob returns, hitting it a little bit into the alley. Really count on him to keep the ball in play. The game is not smart.
Do I lose the first game today? No. Still deuce. Let's go.
Keep fighting.
Yeah, we have also a big time difference since you're in America. You are like, I think, what, midnight right now, around?
It's 10:40 for me. 10:40 p.m.
Yeah, we have it here in the middle.
What time is it for you?
4:40.
Yeah. So, 101% for those asking means that we are playing what has been defined as the 100% category, which is playing all 8 tournaments in the circuit and winning all of them. And we are also playing the hidden match at the end, which is the Don J match. So on speedrun.com, if you were to look at records, you would see the category for 100% and the category Don J %. This is effectively those two combined. Oh, did we get some sweet echo going on there?
Some brief echo.
There's a whiff. There's a whiff.
A whiff?
Yeah, I was chasing down a ball to smash it and just did not get under it enough. Basically standing right next to where I need to be. That's okay though. Frankie, to unlock Don J, you only need to win the 4 majors. Berlin, correct me if I'm wrong there. I think you have to win all the majors, right, to unlock the Don J match.
Not sure, but yeah, I think you have to win the majors to unlock him.
Yeah, I think that's right. But in this case, because we're doing the 100% category, along with the Don J percent match, we're gonna do everything, which also happens to unlock Don J.
And for your question, also Frankie, yeah, Don J as a casual player is really hard. Even if you are really good in the game or you just learn it for yourself, like as a casual player, you are really struggling against Don J because he's catching everything. He's fast. He plays super fast shots, and really, really challenging even to beat him and to win points. Frustrating, I would also say. So it's a real secret end boss. A real end boss for a casual player. Showing up on a small island, what is not on the world card before.
Yeah. Well, the fun thing that I only recently noticed. The estimate for this category is 4 hours, and we should come in somewhere between 3.5 and 4.
And I play
so
Rich
if you just
again.
want to see, another Rich. Oh jeez, you are getting no luck.
No.
Holy mackerel!
It's fine. Just go for it.
I can't wait for those that have been hanging out with us to see the speed difference if you haven't seen Don J.
Yeah.
But the speed that we're playing at right now compared to what you need to do to beat Don J, the movement is just so dramatically different. I mean, it really is like playing a different game. That's awesome. Strong recommend to buy this cart. I think I got it at my local shop for $5. This lucky cart that I'm playing on right now, that gives me good any percent RNG rolls. I think it was $5. I want to say the price tag's still on it, so.
Yeah, he bought a card was somehow manipulated from the gameplay. Somebody just
no, it's just luck. Yeah, luck manipulation. Just
pressing the right buttons in the right time.
Yep.
Secret second controller inputs nobody sees. Just putting him on the feet or something. Pressing. No, but it's funny. Like we talked about RNG, and like I get really a crazy interesting RNG run with 2 times Rich. What is the time loss for sure? Even when you win every point, and every time Phil who's a big bag ball grabber. So yeah. Small things what can change, like losing 30 seconds easily, or a minute, or even more with chip. But yeah, we will see.
Yes, we will. Time will continue to tell.
But it definitely makes fun to play as a casual player, and yeah, you get easily the inputs for yourself, like finding everything out, and yeah, you can have a lot of fun with that game, definitely.
Yeah, I find this game to be a whole lot of fun. I will also. It's a strong recommend with a friend as well.
Yeah, sure.
This game is lots of fun to play against somebody. I mean, I can't really speak too much to the doubles, to be honest, because the doubles is just, it feels like it's pure madness the whole way through. Yeah. The speed at which the game reacts.
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, like I feel like that's why they always show that in the demo, because it's so quick. It's just insane.
Yeah. Like volley against volley against volley, and you can play even mixed, because we never mentioned the women's circuit, but there's also the possibility to play as a woman, so you don't have to be selecting a man.
True, you can play the women's circuit if you'd like, and then you get a different set of 30 players. It's just generally, I would say, it's pretty consistent overall that the women's side, they just don't have the ball speed.
Yeah.
And therefore the run would just by default be slower, just because every point would be just a little bit slower, and it would add up over time.
Yep. From the speedrun,
yeah.
from the speedrun side, it's definitely slower.
Yeah. So FJB, I think it's each character has their own approaches. So the AI, it's subtly different. You'll have some guys that really like to play the baseline. You'll have some guys that really like to serve and volley. It'll be a bit nuanced, but then you'll have other guys that move. You'll have very limited service aces against them because it feels like they'll dive at everything, and like you can't get anything out of their reach. And then you'll have slouches. Like if you ever draw, like I think Marty,
Yeah.
for instance, if you ever draw Marty in a tournament, like that's a candidate, and his serves are always pretty slow, and he's pretty consistent with getting them in.
Yeah.
So, like the 24 points can go by very rapidly. Like if there's ever a chance for like a sub 4 set, that would probably be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a decent amount of variety, and he who shall not be named is the one standout in the AI as far as a frustrating opponent is concerned. But neither of us have drawn him yet from the regular crowd, and hoping neither of us does at all.
Guess what I'm playing in the semis?
No.
No.
Don't say it.
No.
Brian?
Phil again.
Oh, Phil again. Okay.
6 tournaments.
Sorry, the topic at hand made me think.
No. I was like, no. I would definitely, I don't know, I would even say, okay, now you will see hilarious parts.
Yeah.
Semi-finals.
The moment either of us draw a chip, it will be like, yeah, just watch that person stream for the next, I don't know.
1 hour.
Yeah.
I mean, if you even have to play chip in the final of a major with 3 sets, yeah, that costs you easily 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. That would just be pure insanity. Like I said, I'd have to mute my mic. I would just be swearing the whole time.
Yeah, 6 tournaments, 6 time Phil. It's just
insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's entered every single tournament too. I bet he doesn't fatigue either because he's a computer.
It's just
that
funny.
Jerk. Filthy cheater.
Sometimes he played with me in the first round. Now he's playing in the semis.
Torrebedo, the person that we very, very much do not want to draw is Chip.
We didn't even want to mention him.
Yeah.
This blonde guy with white shirt and blue trousers, looking like a beauty. Yeah, the faces of the 10 characters you can select are really funny, I would say. Some of them at least. Like, I don't know.
No, Rich looks frightening.
Yeah, like
I'm scared of Rich.
He's like on mushrooms or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would say
he looks very determined.
He's looking a little bit like Joker, the Joker of Batman.
Big wide smile, and he's very excited to be here.
Yeah. Oh, Phil's picture is also very funny. Looking like just walking up or something. It's just smiling in the can.
So natural.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised by myself if I actually win a point when I charge the net, and like my smash doesn't put the point away, or my volley doesn't put the point away, and I still manage to win the point. I feel tremendously energized because I've never really learned how to play up at the net. I just never did. I was always I love playing baseline.
You're a baseline hitter.
I'm a baseline guy. Yeah, that's probably why my brother always won because I was afraid to adjust.
I won a point, but I already lost because Phil smashed twice, and I still won it by grabbing. Yay! That would be a clip for the marathon. Lucky clips.
So yeah, so I'm trying to think about other things that we haven't thought of to mention. Little nuances that can lose you time in this game. That Berlin has discovered that if somebody serves a fault and you return the ball, but you return the ball straight, right? Like you hit it straight up the screen or straight down the screen. The screen will not fade to the next service attempt until the ball stops moving entirely. So there are certain circumstances there where like you knew the ball wasn't going to go in, but just for fun you hit it anyway, and you can get yourself like 3 seconds.
It's so
Like
weird.
you have to learn to let balls go.
Or play cross court every time that the
Yes,
ball
or
has
just reflexively hit the ball cross court as often as possible.
Yeah. I'm just right now imagining myself if I would play the game by really playing every point, like really playing it, like trying to win the points. How tensioned it would be if you are like not knowing if you win the point or the games or like.
Oh yeah, like it's if you knew not to abuse the whole D-pad abuse on using topspin returns and just try to win points by positioning your opponent and
running to the net every time or hoping that he's not passing you. And it would be a very tensioned run, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know how. Like, I don't even know if feasibly you could even pull it off, though, because reflexively you're going to end up hitting shots that win points.
So yeah, basically, when we run the other any percent, we didn't have that service what we are right now doing, that we are always getting aces or service winners.
You know what? That's right. That's why we went back to any percent. Yeah. That was why I was like, oh, it's a surefire PB. Because, yeah, that's right. You figured out the service technique that works on Don J. Till, it's the former. We're the only two that play it.
Yeah.
We are the community.
Yeah. Well, there's Javi, but he just played it once and created the account.
Yeah. Like, he obviously has some affection for the game, but not enough to come back to it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we found out the service that there is a way to win easily points instead of that the opponents are grabbing the balls. So they're just getting past, so they run forward and just don't hit it. So it's an ace. An ace is always the quickest thing instead of when they play the ball back and then you smash it away or volley it away. So that gave us to every game time save. I would say every time when you're playing a game you have like 5 seconds what you're saving, and according to the matches we have like minutes what you're saving just because of that. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like that. I cannot calculate perfectly, but something like that.
Yeah.
Do the math. I'm playing Ray in the final. That is interesting.
Yeah, that's an interesting draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, Attack the Moon, our estimate for this was 4 hours, and we'll come in somewhere between 3.5 and 4.
This game is longer than many people thought, I guess.
I guess so, yeah. But it is the really, really long-a-thon, so, I mean, your expectations have to be tempered at least a little bit.
You need the 4-hour runs, at least, or more.
Is that, my, oh, that was a fun conversation, too, how we entered this run to the marathon in the first place. It's like, oh, hey, so there's this marathon coming up that is featuring. It's featured around the Baton Katos, the 2-week speed run, and they're gonna fill the extra time with other speed runs. But there's a minimum 4 hours.
Yeah.
So, but your PB in 100% is 3:15.
Yeah.
But do you think if we put in 100% and Donjay together, just did the whole game, that if we add a buffer in, we can make it 4 hours. We could do this, right?
Yeah. I was like,
and then you came up with the name 101%, I believe, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, technically, one of my chatters in my stream said it's a 107% according to the time for 100%, and then Don J, the percentage of the time.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
It's 101% sounds more fun than 107.
It does, yeah. I guess, yeah. If I was gonna go percentages, I guess I would go like set percentage, right? So if there's 48 sets, you add 3 more.
Yeah.
It's like 100% and 1/16.
Well, when you go with the sets,
so, yeah, 106.25%. Sorry, in my line of work, I have 16ths down pretty well.
Do the math, yeah. Do the math. So yeah, I mean, we're not losing any games, but the category is not like we didn't make a rule, for example, to say, okay, if you're losing a game, you have to reset. That would be horrible.
Oh yeah, that'd be awful.
So 100% just means that you win all the tournaments, get the maximum points, and finishing number 1 is 640. The maximum points were beatable, but everybody could beat that 100%. Just has to win every match, not losing before.
I mean, obviously, for speed, you would you don't want to lose any games, but it can happen. You can get a bad draw. You can lose focus for 30 seconds. That's the thing. Buried under all of this manipulation that we're doing to easily win service points and to try to impose our will on our service returns. There's actually a pretty deep game here where it can be kind of hard to win points otherwise. like Berlin has alluded to over the course of this run, coming in to the game brand new, until you get comfortable with a character, you're gonna find it challenging to win matches consistently.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem, for example, of some guys you can select is some are very strong, but also the chance that they hit the ball out is very, very big, because, I don't know, the power is too much, and then you have weaker guys. I would also call Brian to that from the baseline shots, but he's not putting the balls out so often, so you can press really hard an input to left or right, and it still goes somehow in. So,
yeah, as long as you don't swing way out in front of it with Brian, you can pretty much do what you want. You can be as aggressive as you like with your cross court topspin.
The speed of the shot is a little bit slower, but there is no big difference. I would say that you are not winning the point fast enough. So it's like, I don't know, frames of the speed of the swing, for example, from Phil or John.
That's fair.
I was also trying to find out if there is a manipulation that they are making no first service mistakes, but I gave up that. But don't think that there is something what you can manipulate. That they always put the ball in and try to run out of the screen, things like that, just to hope that they play
Just
the
to see
ball.
what happens, you know.
Yeah, they play the ball in, but it's completely random. It looks like.
So yeah, so I think if you were to think about, there's probably like 4 tiers of characters in this game. If I had to guess, like I'm taking the bottom 16 and just lumping them all together as one category because they're bad enough that you really can't, nor should you bother trying to differentiate between any of them because they're all pretty lousy down there. But you know, when it comes to like any percent routing, it really came down to making sure that the point totals of specific players were in check. I mean, those specific players were, for me, like I'm playing as Brian, who I would consider to probably be the bottom of the top tier. You know, like as far as like opponents that you face, Brian gives you a lot of trouble just because of his movement.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I consider him like the bottom of the top tier just because it doesn't feel like he's particularly strong, but because he's fast
And he's
and he's strong enough.
Yeah, he's running always to the net.
Yeah. Because of his strategy, his NPC play strategy, he becomes a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But it's Brian and Phil and Matt and John are a cut above everybody else, I would say. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, these 4 are definitely the strongest characters. What are normally also winning a lot of tournaments, coming a lot forward. Then we have some medium players what you can select, for example, with Rob, what also can be the top tiers, but it's not happening a lot. But in the any percent route, you just hope that sometimes a very bad player is winning against a good one, so you get a balance in the points. But in the end, you have a lot of 180, 90 point players in the ranking when you're finishing.
Yeah, it gets really like for both of the runs that we finished, for only entering 2 majors and nothing else. Like the point spread as you went down the standings was really remarkable to see how even everything was.
Yeah, mine was even funnier than yours because I had like a tied first place with 2 others, and then 2 others behind me with 190, and then
there's like no differentiation at all.
Yeah, it's what like the first 10 had, I think, between 200 and 150 points or whatever.
I mean, that's pretty much what we had joked about as being the only probability for the run.
Yeah.
Was that you would see something like that.
But you proved that you could be #1 solo, so you are the true world record holder because you have no tie.
Yeah, I'll ask Javi to change the rules.
You have to be any percent. You have to be true #1. There is no tie allowed. You have to be #1, and the other one has to be the #2. What? I don't even know this guy. Do I talk like him or what? What is Kuroki doing that he's reminding you to me? The voice? Oh. Do I have to check him and say, "You're my lost brother" or something? I lost twin brother. I wonder if he's also German. But I'm not watching Dota, so I don't know. Say hello from me.
Just say berlindude says hello. He'll know what you mean. Oh, that's the Super Tennis guy, yeah. Everybody knows.
So yeah, it looks like you have a big lead already.
Yeah, I'm in Tokyo now. I just started.
Yeah, and I still have to play 3 games in London, so
yeah, I'm just you know,
consistently
withholding excitement, just concentrating as best I can, while still trying to think about interesting things to talk about. I think we've been doing a pretty good job so far of. Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much all of the history of Super Tennis as a speed run.
Yeah.
and we're effectively creating a new category right in front of your very eyes.
With the world record
But I'm also
coming.
yes, and I am also on PB pace for 100% as well. I must be, because
you are for sure.
Like, there's no way I could not be. I haven't gotten any bad draws yet. Fingers crossed.
I mean, 3:28 is like really definitely the time you could beat and you will beat, since you said you.
I felt logically that if my execution could stay steady and I didn't get any bad draws, that I should be able to probably swing sub 320. I don't know if I'm on that pace right now, but it felt like a thing that I could probably do.
Yeah, for sure. I would even say that you're definitely on a good pace, at least to 3 hours and 1x, or even better. You'll see.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Depends how many points you lost. That's also a thing of point.
I'm not wearing my heart rate monitor, so I don't know how excited I am.
So I just won London right now.
Test zero. What explanation would you like to hear? we'll gladly repeat ourselves. I don't know. I don't think if people that have been watching this can't possibly mind repetitive nature.
In the second round,
because all we're doing the same exact thing over and over again this entire time. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Do you ever played Jose?
What was that?
Do you ever played Jose? Jose?
I have not. I don't think I have played Jose at all.
He's a crazy ball grabber, and I play him second round. He's getting every ball.
Just keeping it fun over there.
Yeah. Next opponent, Chip? No.
Don't say that.
Please. Chip can change everything. Yeah, it's a bird record, that's right. First time we
this is the third time I'm playing Casey.
Nice. Easy.
Oh, so test. Speedrunning Super Tennis, part of it involves Berlin has done extensive work on figuring out proper service techniques for easy service point victories, and lots of aces as long as you can get your positioning right. And then from there, the game's detection for how to move and react when you strike a topspin return when they're serving. If you strike a topspin return and use the D-pad at the same time, it puts a little bit of extra movement on the ball, and the game just doesn't respond well to that. It just doesn't know how to handle it. So you win a lot of service points just by smacking a topspin cross court. Yeah, I mean, it's really so speedrunning just involves trying to win all of these tournament matches as fast as possible. So 101%, the other part of your question, is because if you have bothered to take a look at the speedrun.com page, you will have noticed that there is no 101%. That's because we effectively created this new category for the marathon tonight, so that we had a run that was long enough to meet the requirements for Really, Really Long A Thon. Because there are two separate categories on speedrun.com for 100% and for Don J %. Don J being the hidden last character, last boss in the game that you can unlock after winning all 4 majors, which we're going to do while we win all 8 tournaments, 4 minors and 4 majors, to satisfy the 100% requirements. Oh boy, this point's taking a while. So we Berlin neatly dubbed the category where you play 100% rules and then play Don J at the end as 101%. I think it's very clever and I like it a lot. So that's what we're calling it. And as far as RNG and whatnot, like RNG plays heavily into this because you never know who you're going to draw in the tournament. Yeah. Everybody behaves a little bit differently. Some folks are easier to beat than others. Some folks are harder. Some folks are really, really annoying. We're going to try not to name them anymore since we've said their names enough times already.
Yeah.
Berlin has faced more problematic opponents than I have tonight, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say I would argue that I haven't faced any problematic opponents yet, and he's probably had at least 4 matches against folks that are costing him time purely by existing.
Yeah. And now I'm playing another one. You will see it right now. Let's see how Jose will play, but he is normally a guy who's never letting balls easily pass, always grabbing the ball very slowly and trying to catch. So yeah, you have.
Yeah, Jose has really good lateral movement, so he might give Berlin some trouble there.
So you can see, or you can at least imagine a little bit how Chip would be in a speedrun. Somebody who's grabbing a ball and then plays it very slowly and tries to stand up very quickly again. So yeah, let's see. Perhaps I can show you a little bit half Chip, like 50% Chip with Jose. With Jose. He's grabbing every ball. He's a ball grabber, definitely he is. But yeah, with the new serve technique, what we just found out or learned, there are a lot of more easier balls and you win easier, at least your service game, so you don't have so much problems anymore against anybody. That's the good thing. It's like working on everybody, almost.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the serve strats that Berlin has discovered has really trivialized half of the game. Yeah, test. It's 4 rounds per tournament for all 8 tournaments. We're both on the 7th tournament right now.
Yeah.
And the structure is every odd numbered tournament is a minor tournament, which you have to win 5 sets to win the whole thing, because it's 1, 1, 1, and 2. And then majors take 7 sets because it's 1, 1, 2, and 3 by match.
Yeah, but Frankie, the problem would be when we play against each other live again. It would mean that I have to fly, I think, around 12 hours to the other side of the world just to play one tennis match on a Super Tennis cartridge, then to fly back. So I guess playing against each other, against the NPCs, is a little bit less time afford and cheaper than just playing one game for a long marathon and just showing 12 hours an airplane video or whatever to make it a speedrun for that marathon.
You mean you wouldn't be grinding out attempts on your laptop on the plane?
Well, don't know if I get rich or cheap. Guys like that. Yeah. First to 7 sets? No.
So it's the first to 6 games to win a set. So yeah, points in the game, points to win games, games to win sets, and you need ideally you win 4 points to win a game, and then you win 6 games to win a set. You would have to a set would have to go to 7 games only if you're not winning by 2 when you get there.
Yeah.
And Frankie, by round. In the minor tournaments, it's best of 1, best of 1, best of 1, best of 3. And then in the major tournaments, it's best of 1, best of 1, best of 3, best of 5. So if you win every set that you're supposed to, in minor tournaments you will play a 1, 1, 1, and 2, and then in major tournaments you will play 1, 1, 2, and 3. Test, if I were to ace every serve, how many would that be? Do you mean for the entire run?
That's what I think. I mean, you can easily math.
And so it's 12 per. It's 12 aces per set for 51 sets. So 12 times 51. Let's see, 12 times 50 is 600. So 612?
I think
Math.
he does not even exist. Oh. We have still New York to come. And I remember somebody having any percent in New York, a guy called Chip in his PB.
Oh.
So don't mention him.
I think if we're underestimate, we should try to manipulate to make a chip match appear.
Sure. And that would
just
be
so
me.
people can see.
Yeah. That would be me for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how to force a chip match. You can't really force it. They just happen. I don't have a password to to make a chip match appear.
So I think we have a lot of people who don't like math like you. The number. So I mean, how many points you have to win if you win every? Like, is it like it's 24 points every match?
It's so it's 6. Well, so again, I'll save you the effort here. If you have to, if 612 aces wins all of your points, then you also have to win 612 return points. So 1224. 1224 is the minimum number of points that you have to win to complete the 101% run.
That sounds long.
Yeah. When you put it like that, it kind of makes me not want to play.
Me neither. That's a long marathon
test. I want to say that I know the etymology, but correct me if they know and I'm wrong. But they used to use a clock to keep track of people's scores, like your standard analog face clock, to keep track of people's scores by game. So if you want to put it, so you'd start the hand at 0. If you win a point, if the minimum number of points you can win to win a game is 4, then they would move the dial a quarter of the pie. Essentially, they move it from 0 to 15. So you go 0 to 15, and then 15 to 30. But then to accommodate for deuces and advantages, instead of going to 45, they would go to 40 to accommodate deuces, because then when you had advantage, they would essentially move the dial to 50. So you go 40, 50, and then back to 0 when you won the game. And then if you go back to deuce, it would go back to 40.
There is also the thing they also said not 45 because of the long name, because 40 is short, 30 is short, and 15. I'm not sure about the history, to be honest, but somebody told me once they used 40 because it's a short sentence and not like so long, like 45, 15 sounds really long instead of 40, 15.
True. That could play into it a little bit as well.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to remember why it's called love when you have 0. I remember hearing about it once, but I have already forgotten.
Wait, what? Still 10. I mean,
still tennis. We're getting there.
Yeah, the rule for this marathon to submit a run was it has to be an estimated time of at least 4 hours. So here we are still. Too many. Slippery. We are playing too many games.
Yeah, slippery by the end, as long as neither of us loses a set, which none of us should. Should be 51 sets played.
Yeah.
Does it look like my stream is frozen again? Oh, you know what? That's weird. That's actually just me. That's not frozen. It looks like the stream that I had up on my PC was frozen. So I'm like, the chat was going fine, but the video wasn't going. That was weird.
So at least you have it
I have to make
recorded.
sure. To make sure as I'm resetting the stream and adjusting everything to not look away from the screen for too long, because I don't want to lose a point as a result of just not paying attention. There we go, that's better. There's nothing wrong, it was all me. It was all in my head, or on my screen.
Thanks for the information, Fred. Now I know why they call it love. It's because of the French word le, what means the egg, which is the shape of a zero. Didn't know that.
Very cool.
Clever. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
I learned something. Wow. I learned something in the middle of the morning.
You didn't think you would.
No.
And yet here we are.
A 2 weeks marathon for one game. It's really respectable.
Oh, that makes sense for the slang term goose egg. Because it's shaped like an egg. Because the 0 is shaped like an egg. It's an oval.
Participants 2.
I just had a let.
What? You had a let?
I had a let.
Okay, so the let you're not hearing very often in that game, and when you hear let, it's like lat. Sounds completely different.
Let. Yes, I think I've had a fault where I whiffed. I've had one fault where I actually I swung late and served the ball out too wide, and now I've had a let. So there you go. A little bit of everything, just spicing it up for the stream.
Giving everything what the game has. Imagine the 100% carry means also hearing every sound.
Yes.
Fourth
you don't
play.
hear the let sound.
You have to force yourself to make the let.
Yeah.
What is love, baby? What is it? Not Hathaway, the guy who had that song? Yeah.
I don't remember who sings that song.
That was Hathaway. What is love?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Whenever I hear the song, I only think about the guys from Night at the Roxbury. I don't even think about the song itself. I just think about the dance.
Oh god. The 90s. Funny dance sometimes. Yeah, coming even with that text. Nice. And everybody's continuing even the text how it goes from that way. So we have the whole song. Nice.
There you go.
What is love? Baby don't hurt me. Baby don't hurt me no more. That was his, what he sang the first time. And we have it in chat. So you all are true Hathaway fans, I guess. His name was Hathaway with A and not Hathaway. It's funny.
Broke the window again. Oh yes. Oh, that was the one thing. There was one thing that in the back of my mind, I'm like, forgot. In the moment, I forgot to say something, and it never came back. But it just came back now because tests mentioned that the map screen was there.
Yeah.
Berlin, did you know that at the moment you start the circuit and go to the map for the very first time, as it is panning up to go to Rio, for a split second you can see Don Jay's island?
Yep, I saw that, but only because I was resetting so often in any percent.
Yeah, that makes sense. I became very familiar with the map screen.
Yeah, it was like boom. Oh, there's the land, the Don J thing for a second in the beginning. I just figured it out because of 2,500 resets in the last 4 days.
Yep, that makes sense.
You see everything in that game. It's fine. So 2 more games until I finish Tokyo. And you're already in New
Okay.
York?
I am in New York, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Playing against Mark.
Oh, that's fine.
Another good match so far. I think Rich is in my half. I don't know if he's en route to coming up to see me or not. I'm not sure. We will see.
Better Rich than others. If it's a one-set match, it's fine, I will always say.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah. I think he's in my half. I don't know if he's in my quarter, so I might get... There might be a chance of a 2-set Rich match.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. I've had all good luck so far, so you can't always...
Oh, you can.
Okay.
You have the coverage.
Yeah.
You have the lucky charm.
Yeah, it would be difficult for me to complain about the fact that I got one bad draw.
Actually, I tried out to play chip once again, and with a little bit new setup and strats, I just lost 30 seconds according to a normal run in one set.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
not so much, I would say.
Yeah. It's something, I mean.
Yeah, better than 2 minutes every time.
Yes.
Every set. So...
This is a lot of tennis. I don't know if anybody knows that, but this is a lot of tennis.
It's very difficult to just continue.
Oh, Rich lost. Rich lost to Steve. So I'm playing John now, and I'll get Steve for a best of 3 sets.
Why am I not surprised?
Right? All the good luck's over here.
Yeah, you catched it away.
And I've not even looked at the bottom half of the draw. I have no idea who's on the other side. For all I know, Chip is coming.
He's waiting for you in the final.
Yeah. I saw Rich, and I just focused on watching Rich's progress. I'd never even bothered to look down. I just assume I'm going to play Phil.
Somebody wants Chip.
I mean, we've been building him up so much. That's the problem.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Oh, Rich is a small time loss because every time he goes to serve, he bounces the ball 4 times instead of 2. Every time. So you lose like a second or 2 every time he serves the ball. So if he faults, then you lose again because then he'll bounce 4 more times before serving. So ideally, you want him to have 100% first serve percentage so that you minimize that loss.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't think there's anything else all that particularly special about him.
Well, he's still grabbing a lot of balls. So yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Baseline, John. Come on, dude. Don't do that to me.
Yeah, you could see Rich twice already in my chat, in my gameplay. Sorry, not my chat, my stream, or in my game. So you saw.
Yeah, Berlin has drawn Rich 2 times.
Yeah.
And then every time he draws Brian, which is something that I can't do since I play as Brian, he suffers probably a little bit of a time loss just because of Brian's play strategy as an NPC.
He's running a lot forward and he's grabbing a lot of balls, and then you have to win. We say in tennis you have to win twice the point, or 3 times even. Like, he's not giving up to play the ball back and does not let the ball pass. Just does not accept that you want to win against him.
Outright refusal. And yeah, I know MDI. We've been hyping Chips so much.
Should be coming now for me.
I'm counting on you.
Rob is the next round. I didn't watch the draw until now. So, Rich comes.
Yeah, they're counting. They're counting on us to bring Chip to the people.
Yeah, which we had already, and now Chip comes. I just wanted to mention I played SNES Superstars last year, any percent run, and actually Chip showed up in that run. And
oh, geez, that's right. You did play that.
yeah,
I remember it now.
yeah, and it was like I was telling about a person we want to avoid, and she just showed up in an any percent run. It was, but in that any percent run, even we finished with 220 points, number one, so it was fine. But it was no actual world record, even when it was the possibility in that time. I think I finished 1 hour and 20 minutes or something.
So I'm playing Steve now, and the bottom half is Phil and Bill. So no Chip from me.
You will see for me later. Match points. No, he's not there. I'm sorry.
Oh, we failed.
Yeah. We can watch SNES Superstars if you want to watch. Chip was live last year. But I beated him somehow. Don't ask me how, but I beated him.
Yeah, I don't think my body was ready to draw Chip in this tournament, in this marathon race.
Well, at least you saw twice reach in my game, so
yeah,
you have something.
We at least gave some example of RNG having a negative effect.
Yeah.
MTI is very upset.
Yeah. I think everybody's
I'm sorry, MTI.
Everybody's upset.
Everybody who was so invested in the run.
Yeah, watching us 4 hours, always talking about a guy called Chip, and then he even didn't show up.
Softnum Chip has very good foot speed. He has very good movement, but his ball speed defies gravity and physics. He hits the ball and it moves at about half the speed that the ball should. So it throws your timing off. It makes rallies go really long because you just can't put points away because he's too fast. Like, he can chase everything down, and you can't build up any speed to get good positioning on him. So every point is a nightmare.
Definitely.
Seawalker, the world record time for 101% will be whoever wins this race. Because this category was crafted specially for the marathon. Because it combines the 100% run of playing through all 8 tournaments and winning all 8, and the Don J % run, which is which is beating the final boss, which is beating the hidden boss after the credits, Don J.
I wonder if Javi edits the category, or if he says no more. you are adding too much already.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So we talked about how between the two of us, we've improved the any % world record 4 times this week. Not if you check speedrun.com, we haven't. It has not moved.
Yeah, it's like
I submitted both of my PBs, and neither of them. Like, I pulled the first one down after I got the second one. But
takes time because Javi is normally not checking so often speedruns, speedrun.com.
Yeah.
It will be verified, but we don't know when. Could be in some weeks
Like
or
he
some
has
months.
a disclaimer on there that it could take 1 to 3 weeks before he gets around to it.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's okay.
Not.
He doesn't want to have another moderator. That
Yep.
could help him.
I feel like I know 2 people that would gladly moderate.
He's one of them.
Just off the top of my head, I can think of 2.
Perhaps 3. So, who's next? I play Steve, and then I play for sure Matt or Brian. I play Brian for sure the finals. For sure. I called it. But I'm happy to see Steve right now, because Steve is the guy who gave me the actual world record in any percent. Without him it would be not functional. He kicked out Phil in the first round, a very strong character, and he had not enough points in the finals. He had 1 out of 10, so he could collect the 80 points to be not over 200. So yeah, he was the main key, because I was hitting the other guy out with hero.
He made the dream happen.
Yeah.
3 hours hype. It's been... I've had... I've enjoyed this so far very much. It's been very relaxing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Particularly when you come from the perspective of, you're used to one of us talking while the other one is in chat and communicating that way. It's been a lot of fun. Like, Berlin and I have only been in like a Discord chat one other time that I can recall, when he was teaching me how to beat Don J. So this has just been a whole lot of fun from my perspective.
Yeah, we're doing
and not
something...
just because I'm in the lead.
we're doing something like yoga here for the players, I guess, because it's so chilly. There's no background music except when you're winning it. It's only hearing the balls and everything.
Yep, just close your eyes and listen to the sound of the ball being struck. I mean, we can't close our eyes. Berlin has talked about wanting to do a blindfolded thing, but I'll leave that for him.
There's one time an exception of Super Tennis in a GDQ run or ESA or whatever, and we have to decide there has to be an incentive. I would say, okay, incentive like doing a blindfold run and they have to reach a minimum of that money or whatever, and then I would do a blindfold run for 1 game at least, to try to win 1 game blind. What I'm returning, we are not talking about serving, that is easy, but returning 1 game and deciding left or right or whatever, and just hoping for the right direction.
Yeah, because for serving, that's nothing. When I was practicing Don J attempts last night, and like, I held my controller up to the camera so people could see exactly what I was doing to win service points. Watch as I hold R and mash A. Oh look, I won the game.
Yeah, that would be even not difficult, but returning where you don't know.
Although if we didn't explain that to people, we could probably impress a lot of people doing that blindfold.
Yeah, sure.
You could dupe them.
Yeah, I think the incentive could even be, can you win a set by not opening the eyes or having closed eyes? That would be also a crazy incentive, to be honest.
That would be. It would be pretty crazy. Oh, there's no surprise there that Phil beat Bill, so I will be playing Phil.
The finals.
I hope you get Matt and not Brian. You've had Brian enough.
Phil in almost every tournament. Brian is there always. Matt didn't show up a lot, I would say. My runs. The old shit is not here.
He took the entire attempt off.
Yeah. So I have 1 more set to go.
Play.
I missed the smash. So weird to play on the background always.
Fabil. Oh shit. That was a waste. I wasted 4 seconds hitting the ball extra. I was chuckling to myself that Phil hit a serve down the line out, but he hit it so nice and straight that it bounced off the back wall and came back to me. So I ran back to it and hit it with a topspin, and I hit it into the net and made one of the ball boys go get it. Just the point was over.
You just wanted to continue.
I wasted 3 seconds for no reason.
Yeah, I remember many times as casual I always tried to play the ball again when it came back from the wall, just for funsies. You also did that?
I do that. I do that against Don J.
To play
I do
for
that
them.
now. I did that last night a bunch. Like it'll bounce off the back wall and I'll start a lob, but it'll just cut. It'll just cut as soon as I hit it. But
Well, this is actually a speedrun, the original Socks, man. Even when it's not looking like.
Just because I wasted 3 seconds in a 3.5 hour run.
It's a reset.
I'm being questioned about whether it's a speed run. My bad.
Yeah, you have to reset. You have to do the.
Oh,
whole...
I get you. I get you, Socks man. Yeah, no, we are both attempting to complete this run. We are not playing tennis against each other.
No. Okay, yeah. Now I got him too. We are playing the same route with different characters, different players, but we're finishing the same route. Playing against the NPCs. And then against one guy called Don J, our secret boss, on a red island, what looks like hell. It is kind of hell.
It is. I would agree. I feel like that's the impression they were trying to give off.
Yeah, you are just joining hell.
Yeah, welcome to hell.
Yeah. Just relax yourself. Speed racing.
Play.
Gotta watch out for doping, man. It's serious
Yeah.
in speedrunning.
Yeah. Too much coffee. Too much caffeine. And then you get controlled if you are too awake after that run.
Play. Ball.
How far are you right now in the game? Which set?
I just started the second set against Phil.
Oh, you are even on world record pace for 100% almost.
Oh my god. We keep making mistakes.
Don't do that.
I just got lucky there. Okay. We're okay. This is fine. That was a scary game. I played 1 point well out of 6 and one. I gave up 2 of them.
So if somebody perhaps even can check or yourself actual time in 100%, I don't know what I have. So you could beat that, I guess. By the way, I played Brian, like I said. Not Matt. Matt in the finals.
Play.
I don't know what was the actual time on 1%, but I think it was 3 hours, 14 minutes and something, 59 seconds.
It stuck out in my head as 3:14:59 because I thought it was neat that it just snuck under 3:15.
Yeah. I think because I messed up some last points in the last game, and then I almost lost the 3:14 because of that. And like I said, I had one time Rich
Yeah.
semi-final to final. I lost 1 minute in the split, I remember.
Play.
That's okay.
I don't think sub 315 is in my future here, but this is going to exceed my expectations for a 100% run.
Well, when you said you started the second set, it was 3-7, and one set is at least 3.5 minutes if you play perfectly. So you could
Yeah.
be 7 minutes. That would be 3:14 for sure.
Mm-hmm. For sure, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like I'm on that pace now.
Let
I
us see.
had a couple mistakes in that first service game from the back, and
Mhm.
Phil's first serve percentage hasn't been that good down the stretch here. So
Yeah. Yeah. Breathware is a lot of time in my chat. He's also a moderator in my chat, and he watched the last 4 days also, and also the speedruns before Super Tennis. And
oh, nice.
Brian was always destroying runs, and that's why he's not really liking Brian.
He's not fond of Brian. I get you. I can understand that, Rathwell.
I mean,
Hold no grudge against.
and then we got the 80% run with the first Brian run yesterday after 4 days of 40 hours Super Tennis speedrun as John, our hero. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Play.
it was
Yeah.
fun.
Heck with that guy.
This Brian, yeah? Gosh.
Okay. I just finished the second set at 3:11:10.
Yeah, if you're playing, of course, a perfect last set, you can beat the world record if it's 3:14:59.
I just lost a point. Well,
It will be for sure if you're playing at least consistently.
I got I got one of those points where I serve it out wide against Phil, and he just smashed a topspin volley down the line. Like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, a 3:15 for sure is definitely possible for you.
I would love a 3:15. 3:15 would be amazing.
Yeah,
So
you
that's kind of what I'm hoping for here.
had a wonderful draw, wonderful RNG, I would say.
Yeah,
According to 100%.
yeah. The game gave me everything I needed.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not upset that it's effectively, two minutes ish behind your execution pace because you got rich in your 3:14.
Yeah.
That's
And I also miss points, so I never win every tournament without not winning points. It's like every tournament you have to be focused, and for sure, in the total you're losing 6 to 8 points easily in every tournament just because of execution. Getting tired, not missing making a mistake input, it's completely normal. So winning every point in a tournament, the whole game in 3 hours, 40 minutes or whatever, it's definitely not
I just had
easy.
another let.
You're the let guy today.
I'm the let guy.
You want just to repeat the services to troll the opponent.
Play.
Yeah, we're into the 3:13s here, and I am at 3-love in the third set.
Yeah, you should be 3:15 for sure. If you're not making too much mistakes.
Yeah. So here's hoping. This is the highest quality 100% effort that I've ever put together. Not that I've put together many 100% attempts, but
At least this is the
It's
second
on
one.
par. It's on par with the current world record, so that should say something.
Fault.
Yeah, here's the lucky card and the lucky charm. Getting the good
Mhm.
draws.
The old lucky cartridge. Gets them every time.
Oh man, Brian is giving me trouble.
Is he giving you grief?
Yeah, he's grabbing balls and plays first services in the corners and things like that. And kick serves out of the range. So, well, at least I didn't lose a game until now, so I'm happy.
Fault.
In the middle of the morning.
Okay, we're switching courts, change court, going into game 18 here, 3:14:37. So yeah,
315
sub
comes
sub
in.
3:15 is out, but 3:15 is a distinct possibility unless I really botch this.
You got this. And since you're not planning to do other 100% runs,
This is a good place to leave 100%.
definitely. I think if I was seeing a little bit my sum of best and everything, I think at 312 or something is possible. Like
Okay.
winning every points and everything.
Championship point.
Sounds great.
There we go. That'd be 3:15:22 with the trophy.
Nice. Very
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
time. GG. You need this.
At least for that part, anyway.
Now comes the real
Everybody's... Yes. Now the speed change. Well, first the credits and then the speed change.
Yeah, of course.
Get the 9 courts behind my house, 3-story house, 640 points per player profile. Oh. So these are the credits that are before Don J. Oh.
You have a 4-minute lead.
Yeah. Oh man, 4 minutes. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Play.
So you can
Oh,
see.
soft num. We still have one more match.
Yeah.
There's still the extra 1% in the 101% is the match after the credits.
Yeah.
So I'll be back in about 45 seconds.
Go for it. Yeah. Now it's coming Don J. The good thing about Don J is that
Play.
you don't have to care anymore about the service. You will see when you're seeing him playing it. Because there's a trick I found out to get every point and service as ace or service winner. So at least from all the games what you're playing, like normally you want that you have 18 games and 9 games are for free. So you have only to think about the returning games, what you have to put the balls inside. So that makes it of course easier to play this game if you only have to think about the returning.
Play.
And we cannot skip the credits, by the way, if you are wondering why yelsraek has right now time to go. The credits are not skippable. You just have to wait until all the text comes, and when the text is away you finally can press buttons and then you get this long password and then you just enter the extra match what Jelsa is about to join. So the credits are not skippable. You get the player profiles and in the end you get the possibility to continue. That's why Jels could go away. Welcome back.
I have returned. Thank you, Wrath. Thanks so much. Thank you for the good luck on Don J. I will likely need it. It's hard to make the speed adjustment, it really is.
Yeah, he's like really pacing up after that. You can see the stats, not really, but you see like kind of the MTI. You see kind of like a description, like we already explained, from poor to okay to awesome to best and things like that. So every player profile has like showing forehand, backhand, volley, and serve in different kind of words. What you're seeing in the player profile. So yeah, you see who is the poorest and who is the strongest in the shots. I remember they even printed these things on the manual, so you know which kind of player you should select. No, they didn't put that. They put a description of the player, like this guy is fast, this guy has a good serve. Yeah, that's what they put in the manual, if I remember.
So I have to remember that the inputs for the serve strat's slightly different. I have to do less.
Yeah.
I have to let go with my left hand and just use A and R.
Yeah.
Wrath, we're actually just gonna go straight into the run because you effectively you've unlocked Don J, so you just go straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
So here you go. I don't even have to enter the password. So.
And here we go. I won the championship. It would be at 320.
GG, man.
320.09, I think, was the time when I hit the trophy in New York. So, 640 points, entering the house with 9 courts and everybody's clapping. A lot of money behind me, yay! And now we just continue seeing the credits with the player profile.
Yeah, so I just won the first game against Don J using the serve techniques.
Yeah, easy peasy.
He just kind of goes through his legs. But you can kind of get a feel. You'll see as I'm returning serve just how fast he is. And the positioning to try to win these points.
It's hard for you
forcing
as Brian.
him onto the edge, yeah.
Yeah, more harder than for me. Because
Brian just isn't as strong, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, MTI Mark is very poor in that game. I remember it was a challenge for me. I really wanted to beat the game with the poorest guy, and that was Mark. I'm sorry. That goes right into it, Rathbell.
Okay, my run is validated because I actually broke his serve from the back.
What is
like I just after playing slow tennis for over 3 hours, I was that the first time push came to shove on actually being able to move and execute the lob strats that I was going to do horrible, but I just lost 1 point.
Nice, that's good. Perhaps you're beating even your PB, we will see. You have to retime it after.
Yeah. I find it unlikely that I'm going to be able to beat my PB. My PB actually isn't that bad, so...
No, it's not so bad.
It has a bit of a shaky third set, but that's about it.
I wonder how many people just didn't press any button after they beat the game and didn't even know about the secret boss.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Because the credits are the credits.
It was actually it was harder to break him from the bottom that time.
Yeah?
Yeah, he took 2 points off me that time, and the other points were no, I only had one really clean one where I just kind of got the service return right next to him so that he just whiffed. Everything else was hard earned. we're moving right along here.
Yeah, should be not the biggest problem for you. You need Recitin. A little bit at least, you said.
Yeah. That's his first double fault. He usually double faults a decent amount just because his stats are all pumped up and the game doesn't seem to know what to do with them.
Yeah, that's right. And we're entering Dom J.
Alright, man. Good luck.
Thanks. Let's go.
Play.
God, he's so fast.
Yeah. Bleh. when he charges the net really hard, it's just
Amazing.
it just buries my topspin return strats. It just absolutely buries them. But it is faster for me. It's faster. He doesn't attack, or if he just attacks late.
Oh, white serve, uncatchable. Losing a game here for sure. Oh, yeah, I'm losing a game for sure. God.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, it's not be over yet. I won this excuse. Oh god, please clip that.
Fault.
It was a grabbing point from me.
Fault. Fault.
Okay, didn't lose the game at least.
Good. Good fight. Fight that good fight.
Yeah, when you would see that point what I just got in 40-30 for him. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, you have to make that judgment call, right? Like from speedrun versus pride. Yeah, like it would almost be faster if I just gave him the game,
Yeah, but I said no, I don't want to lose a game today.
but I don't want to lose a game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I refuse to lose a game, even if it's slower.
Correct.
Speedrun be damned.
Fault.
It's a thing of mentality. Yeah. You want
Yeah.
to finish with 0 the whole run. 0 games giving away.
Fault. Fault.
Sometimes it is such an effort to win these points.
I guess. A lot of reaction things. Hitting so fast.
Oh man, he just got a point on me where he clipped the net.
Ah, I hate this.
Of all the things.
Yeah.
Give him a little net point as well. He deserves it. He needs the help.
Play.
Oh, you played a net roll and win the point. Oh.
Fault. Fault.
And then he's doing a double fault. Holy smokes. It's very fast, I guess.
That's I think that pretty much sums it up.
Kind of.
Well, what you want to do is when you return with the lob, it's more about you're buying a little bit of time for positioning, but you're also forcing his position as well. And the lob is probably the best shot to guide an opponent to a specific place. So you guide him to the line if you can, like to the sideline if you can, to open up as much of the court for a passing shot as humanly possible.
Play.
Since he has otherworldly speed.
So yeah, I have to reset. I lost the game. I have to do
No!
everything again. No, it's fine.
I just had an example of I hit the ball straight on a.
Play.
I had to wait for its momentum to stop before it would transition to the next point. Just
Done.
bounces calmly away.
Out.
Oh wow! How did I miss that?
You called it out, Wrath. You jinxed it, Wrath. It's fine. I remember grinding down J outs to get the time down. That was crazy.
Fault.
Hoping for good RNGs. That is not missing so much.
I just lost the game.
Oh!
Reset.
We do everything again right now, yeah? It's 3.5
Yep.
3.5
Sorry,
hours.
everybody. Reset the timer. We're gonna do it all over again.
Yeah. We lost the game both. 3.5 hours. We have to do it again.
I could not win that. This is my fourth time returning from the back. I got to deuce. I could not win it. I think I was at 30-40 and I lost 3 points in a row.
Yeah. When you're doing
I could not execute.
when you're doing 3.5 hours, a different kind of movement in the serve, and then you're doing this movement in the serve. Many times you're like doing the old strat and like, oh, you play a game in serve. Oh, oops.
Yeah. Tora makes a good point. I already failed to execute my winning the best of 3 in one set. As promised.
Fault. Fault.
It was Brian's fault.
Alright, I'm up 3-1 in the third set currently.
Fault.
Just to give you a feel for where I'm at here.
Fault.
Okay. It's the last time I'm gonna have to try to break his serve from the back. One last chance. This should be the one. That's what makes this is what makes this as a category so difficult. Is that this is the hardest game, and it's also the last game in the run. If you're doing well, you get up 6-love, 6-love, 5-love, and it's like, great. Here's what I have for you.
Yeah, he's giving you a lot of bad parents.
AJ, the estimate for this was 4 hours. but I am almost done here.
Play.
We were pretty confident that we were probably going to come in the 330s, but we wanted to
Yeah.
build in a barrier for unreasonableness.
Yeah, man,
See,
I
that was
would
bad.
say 340 or whatever, and then
Bad positioning. There we go. I broke him. I broke him there. So we're coming down to the end right here.
Mhm.
Serving up 6-love, 6-love, 5-1.
Nice.
And serving is easy because you just hold R and mash A. So incoming.
Mhm.
334 something. Here's match point. And time. 334.31.
GG.
Thank you, sir.
You got it! The frick.
I did it.
World record holder! 101%!
I must be getting old. You
Yeah.
are a real champion.
Yeah.
And then there's the cheat code that you can use, the secret command.
And that's what I was calling
Select.
about 200%. Then you have to do everything again with the cheat code.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Alright, I lost 13 points to Donjay. That's not bad.
I'm at 14 already and starting the second set. So,
Oh, damn. That's not good.
no. Hey. Oh, I got your
So
strat. I played the topspin over you.
Thanks so much, Wrath. So should I do resets and try to find Chip with my spare time?
Do it.
Let's see if we can find Chip somewhere in the tournament. Or at least, like, draw him. I guess I'd have to draw him right away, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you cannot draw him directly in Rio. He's normally not
you
playing
can't?
there. No. You should go to...
Oh, he did. He was in Rio. That's funny.
But against you?
No. He finished in the... He went to the finals.
Oh!
I should have played that one. See, oh, I'm on the top half. He's on the bottom half. We'll reset again.
I mean, you can draw Chip, I think, in Rio, for sure. Somehow. But I don't know.
Okay. Well, if I'm just doing resets anyway, I might as well. He's not there. Okay.
I think the chance to get him is much higher in a different tournament, but yeah. Do it in the beginning because it's fast enough at least.
There he is. Okay, got
You have
it.
it? Nice. First round?
Yep, first
Yeah,
round Chip.
You're
Okay.
a lucky cartridge, huh?
Play.
Called it.
Fault.
So I'm gonna use the same serve strats and everything. I'm just gonna let him. I'm gonna wait for
Fault.
him to return something.
Yeah, sure. It will be hilarious right now.
I don't know how to beat this guy normally.
The women's tournament would be 300%, I guess.
All right, so I held serve. I gave up 1 point, but it's really returning his serve. That's where the fun comes in.
Definitely.
I don't even know what just happened.
Just watch.
Oh, double fault. Chip, what are you doing? Come on, man. Big stage. You can't handle it.
So Corn Dogs, he's very speedy in his feet,
Fault.
but he's
Oh.
very slow of hitting. You just have to watch right now Yelsraek what he's doing, and then you understand
Fault.
what we are meaning.
The speed is so off. He smashed it, and I swung early. Like, the timing is just so... It's so weird.
Fault.
Hey, a free point. Alright, I've got it. He's serving at 40-30.
Fault.
But one of those is a double fault. It looks like it bounces twice.
Yeah.
All right, I lost that game.
Chip's kicking ass. Definitely. So we are 3-0 right now
Play.
in the
There we go. I
third
had to
set.
use the Don J strat to pass him.
The lob?
Oh, the double, the whole like
A double
work him
hitting.
down the line with a top spin, and then yeah, position him to the edge. Okay. Serve held at love.
Play.
All right.
4.
Yeah, I think everybody sees right now why we are struggling so much with Mr. Chip. Because he's causing a lot of time.
My timing is all off too. I'm whiffing at serves as well. I think because I just played Don J. Because that's the thing. It's not that we can't beat Chip 6 love when needed. You know. It's just he's just sitting on the baseline.
Yeah.
He'll come up to chase down my little volleys, but he just wills me into a stare. Ugh.
4.
The speed. I cannot handle the speed. Oh, and he gets a net roll as well because he needs it. Ah, take that.
Play.
So I just lost another game because Don J was playing insane, doing a smash down the line, hitting serves out, like, you know, all this what we don't want to see. And it was 40 love, and I tried to come back, and 40-30 he just made a serve and just walked into the other side. And yeah.
Okay, I'm at 2-2 in this set against Chip.
Last game for me.
4.
Nice.
We are about to finish also my run. Underestimate at least.
4.
And Don J with a lot of double faults here.
Yeah, the fact that I am now 3-2 against Chip shows me that he would have destroyed my run and my confidence if I had drawn him.
4.
Luckily you didn't.
Yes, very luckily.
Love 40. Match point. Let's see what it gives me. Ah, he's grabbing the ball! No, not anymore. Okay, time. 3:41. It's fine.
GG.
Fine with that at that time what I'm playing right now. 6 o'clock in the morning, let's go!
Good morning, Berlin.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, I just broke his serve.
You won, I must be getting old. You are a real champion. And then you get the secret commands. On select player screen, controller 2. Press 5 times the button L, 1 time X, 7 times the button R, and then 1 time X. And then you press select and you go to stats, and I lost 24 points.
Ooh.
He was on 63% of first services. We made 13 double faults, just for your mind.
13. Holy! I saw Wrath chiming in chat periodically saying that he was saving for you. I didn't believe what he meant.
Now you know.
Now I know. Holy crap, that is a lot of double faults.
It is a lot of things, of course. So yeah, after that, select button. After Don J, there's nothing more, so you cannot go out. The only way to stop is resetting the game.
Yeah, so when I reset to go looking for Chip, that was the only thing I could do anyway.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he just returned 3 of my smashes. Back to back to back. Alright, I got a match point on Chip here.
Nice.
Yes. Okay.
You won.
There we go.
Chip is done.
Yeah.
Chip
Beat
is
Chip 6-2.
finished. Nice. But you lost 2 games.
All right. Thanks. Thank you, Zelmus. Yeah, we've had our fun, but thank you all so much. Thank you to Zelmus and to Baffin for letting us run this game here.
Yeah.
It was
Thanks, guys.
really, really great. And enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Yeah. Watch 2 weeks. We got it.
Yeah.
The secret command is 5 times L, 1X, 7 times the R button, X. Frankie.
And it's a stat boost, right? It just maxes
Yeah.
out your stats or whatever.
You press that on the second controller in the beginning of the selection screen, and then the character is getting boosted.
Berlin, it was a pleasure, sir.
Same for you, Gels. I have to go to sleep 6:30 in the morning here. So good night, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the runs. And thanks to
Yes,
everybody.
enjoy the rest of the marathon, folks.
Good night from me. Good night from us.
Audio's live. Hello. Alright, so, ready to go, yeah? Sorry. Yeah, hello everyone. Okay, cool. Alright, I'm gonna lock my mouse to the middle screen, because this game's amazing. Okay, yeah, hi everyone. That was an interesting tennis game. I woke